Yo.
It's been all over the news recently.
Braden, clavicular.
Clavicular?
Clavicular.
Clavicular.
Clavicular has been banned on YouTube. Clavicular OD'd.
If you don't know who Clavicular is, he is a 20-year-old man, real name Braden Piers, who for many years now apparently has been trying to look as handsome as humanly possible at any cost, As you will see from his stack, he is doing this much to his actual health detriment. He doesn't seem to care about this at all, but doing this much
400 test. That's surprising he's on that much test and still that small. Accutane. Pretty sure you don't go on Accutane indefinitely, so... telmisartan's a ARB blood pressure medication. That is not bad for you. Creatine is fine. Cialis is fine. Adding in when shipped, 50 Tren. I'm assuming that's per week. That's not a particularly high dose. 300 EQ. I don't. That sounds like a ridiculously high amount of EQ. Generally speaking, most people are fine running a 2-to-1 ratio of test to EQ. He's running a 4-to-3 ratio, which is very high. That would put your estrogen quite low, unless he aromatizes very heavily, which I don't think he does. 5 milligrams Anavar. I'm assuming that's per day. That's not a high dose. That's pretty damn low for a male. And again, you don't run Anavar indefinitely. 100 milligrams melatonin. It's pretty high. It's melatonin though. P5P, I don't know about that. 20 milligrams of Lasix daily. I'm assuming he's just a fucking retard and taking a diuretic so that he can look leaner like a fucking idiot. Memantine for inhibition. I don't know what memantine is, but...
to his actual health detriment. He doesn't seem to care about this at all, but let's get into it. And I will say that I met him last year and I tried to talk him out of what I see as a very unhealthy path that he's going down.
You notice how he looks very leathery? Do you think, like, Clav wouldn't take you seriously because you eat like a fucktard and your skin looks like it's made out of, old leather?
And at the end of this video, I will give you my take on looks maxing in general. I think it's fine for humans to want to look handsome. And it turns out that there are many natural ways to looks max that I will get into at the end of this video that will probably leave you looking and
You look like a starving crack addict.
feeling better for much longer than poor Clavicular will. Let's roll the clip.
Clavicular looks healthier than he is, and Clavicular does crystal meth. Clavicular does crystal meth, and he looks healthier than Paul.
Your stack right now. Like, what do you take every day?
Yeah, so right now I'm on a very low dose of test. I'm on around like 220 milligrams.
Okay.
I've been like lowering my dose, throughout the past couple months.
220 milligrams of testosterone is not a low dose. That's a
Depends on what you mean by low dose, relative to what. For bodybuilding doses, that's very low. For TRT, that's considered high. I wouldn't even say it's very high, but... Okay, the guy who doesn't do steroids and looks like a starving crack addict is going to tell us what is and isn't high.
It's a pretty hefty dose of testosterone, so that's a big dose. He actually goes on to say that he's lowering his dose to get to 220. Now, remember, this isn't a 60-year-old man. This is a 20-year-old man who, if you look at the forums, has been on testosterone since he was at least 16 years old. His poor testicles are so atrophied at this point, and his sperm cells are so non-existent.
Generally speaking, testicular atrophy is about 15% on average. It's not particularly high. And as far as I know, Paul's never inspected Clavicular's testicles, so he wouldn't know.
I have a clip of Fauci, Biden, Harris and the rest of the clown crew saying if you take the vaccine it's impossible to get COVID. Why don't you ever share that with your audience? What are you hiding?
I don't fucking care. If they said that, they're wrong. What do I care? Thanks for the donation, stupid. Where were we?
Because he's been in testosterone for so long. This is crazy.
Oh, yeah. And, oh, he doesn't produce sperm. First of all, testosterone doesn't make you stop producing sperm. It might lower your sperm count, but it doesn't stop you from producing sperm. Plenty of pro bodybuilders who are on well over a gram of gear for years and years and years still conceive children on full cycles before contest prep. So it's not unusual to be able to have children even after a decade of steroid use and never doing any kind of HCG monotherapy for fertility. Ronnie Coleman has 8 children. He conceived those children while he was competing. And again, that guy was taking probably about 2 grams a year per week, roughly. So Paul's full of shit. On top of that, there's like on the one hand, yeah, testosterone can lower your sperm count, but it also increases prostate-specific antigen. Prostate-specific antigen protects your sperm from the, like, basically immune cells in the vagina that attack and kill the sperm. So even though you might have a lower sperm count, because you're producing more PSA, that might end up having like a net neutral or a net positive effect on fertility. It just kind of depends. Depends on how it affects your sperm. Depends on how high your PSA is, shit like that.
Crazy. So I think he's done this because he just wants to look as good as possible, doing the least amount of work possible. He's said this before in the past. He hates to lift weights. He hates to work out. He's basically just trying to look good in the most lazy way possible. But you should know that 220 milligrams of testosterone is a large dose. Testosterone can
It's not a large dose.
have significant side effects and requires monitoring by a doctor. The most
It does not require monitoring by a doctor.
common or concerning of these is called polycythemia. This can lead to
Polycythemia
Destiny is calling Adam Mogler now. On his latest video he called him in the title Adam Mogler. How insane and cringy. And when you talk to Destiny next time, can you turn the camera on Discord for him so he can see you, so he knows who the real Mogger?
I guess Destiny's a fucking faggot. Like, holy shit, dude. Whines and cries about fucking Hassan telling people not to, like, vote Democrat. And then Adam Mockler says, don't vote Democrat. They support Israel. Same shit as Hassan. What does he do? I don't care. Whatever. And Adam Mockler's a fucking retarded anti-Semite. Fuck that little bitch up. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Yeah, so most men do not get polycythemia. And again, if you know anything about how your blood work works, it's very easy to prevent. Most people might end up having polycythemia technically on blood work just because they're dehydrated. If you're dehydrated because hematocrit is just a proportion of your blood volume as like red blood cells, all you have to do is drink more water. If you drink more water, there's more water in your blood, you're more well hydrated, and then your hematocrit goes down because it's a percentage. On top of that, there's nothing wrong with having elevated hematocrit. There's people living at high altitude, like in Stittsville, Colorado, or in the Himalayas, where you'll regularly see people with hematocrit in the 70s when normal hematocrit is below 50. So are they dying left and right? Are they getting heart attacks and strokes from living at high altitude? No. There's no association whatsoever with living at high altitude, elevated hematocrit, and risk of some sort of cardiac event. None whatsoever. So there's no issue with having elevated hematocrit. There's not even a good association between hematocrit and clotting risk. There's a big complicated set of factors that affect clotting risk, and you can get a clotting test done. And again, you can see people with a really heavily elevated hematocrit in the 70s, they can have lower clotting risk than people with hematocrit in the 50s. So Paul doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. You don't need monitoring by a doctor if you're on low doses of test. That's just made up horseshit.
Increase red blood cells, which can lead to blood clots. You can get a DVT, a deep venous
Nope. Totally wrong. He's making this shit up. He has no idea what the fuck he's talking about.
thrombosis in your leg, or that DVT can pass into your
Okay, cool. So show me the evidence that people living at high altitude are at risk of blood clots. Oh, it doesn't exist. They're not at higher risk of blood clots.
body. You can get a pulmonary embolism, a blood clot in your lungs, which can be fatal. You can get all sorts of clotting issues related to polycythemia. So you don't want to be taking a bunch of testosterone without looking out for possible problems. People taking extra or exogenous testosterone often take aromatase inhibitors.
So I'm on 525 milligrams test, 105 milligrams Boldenone. My hematocrit has not gone above 48. So I'm on more steroids than Clavicular, and my hematocrit is within the normal range. Ooh, I drink enough water.
Which come with their own issues. These try to block this conversion of excess testosterone into estrogen, things like anastrozole, etc. But
yeah, so a lot of dudes can take 500 milligrams of testosterone and not need an aromatase inhibitor. And the longer you take testosterone, the less you convert to estrogen. And again, you don't need to take an anastrozole. There's a number of different AIs, and you can just take a low dose of Boldenone, which is what I do.
in this case, 220 milligrams of testosterone is a huge dose, especially for a 20-year-old.
It is not a huge dose. Most men can be on that dose of testosterone and not require an AI.
That's crazy, but it gets better.
So that's my TRT dose. I'm on 25 milligrams of Accutane.
25 milligrams of Accutane.
Paul is a weak pencil neck little fucking pussy who has never taken any steroids. Doesn't really know many people who've taken steroids, other than his buddy Liver King, who he said was natural. So shows how much he knows about fucking steroids, and this fucking guy is trying to tell you, oh, if you're on testosterone, you need to be monitored by a doctor. 220 milligrams test a week is super high. You're gonna get a blood clot and die. This is the same dumb motherfucker who said the Liver King's natural. So that shows you how much this guy knows about fucking steroids, and he's trying to tell you, I know what I'm talking about. Liver King's natural. He's never taken steroids before. Fucking retard.
Probably to undo the acne that comes with all of the testosterone that he's taking. And he's not been...
So, Clavicular had acne when he was a kid. You can see photos of before he ever went on test, ever did anything, he had acne issues. Who the fuck knows if he had worse acne after taking testosterone? You didn't bother to ask him, did you? On top of that, there's, like, again, I'm on 525 milligrams of test, 105 milligrams Boldenone. Do I look like I have acne issues? I have pretty fucking clear skin. So, like, no. Just going on testosterone does not equal, oh, you're gonna have acne. Funny how he also showed a fucking thing of Sam Sulek. Buddy, Sam Sulek eats like a fucking retard. Like, you can literally see this guy go through contest prep where he has a perfectly clean diet. All this guy is eating is like broccoli, asparagus, chicken breast, ground turkey, you know, stuff like that. Just, it's not the, like, I wouldn't call, like, animal products health foods, but it's not junk food. And then his skin clears up. He has no acne. As soon as he stops contest prep and starts eating fucking garbage like he normally does, drinking a gallon of fucking milk a day, eating sugary cereal, eating fucking Krispy Kreme donuts, what happens? His acne pops up again. So is this the steroids or his retard, dumb fuck, idiot fucking diet? Like, it's like, this guy is so fucking insanely dishonest.
Did you enjoy my donation earlier? I tried to time it with your set but I failed. I need to do better next time, I guess.
I'm just not going to let you donate during workout streams. I'm just going to skip your donos as soon as you donate. So thanks for the donation, dude.
with all of the testosterone that he's taking, and he's not been...
Dodo Donate Tellers, SJW Taurus, go to China, finds out.
She's following me. Do you see? Being black is so crazy.
It's China. world order. U.S. moves to withdraw 100,000 troops from Europe and halt trillions in defense spending. Let's see.
When we need them to allow us to use their military bases, their answer is no, then why are we in NATO? You have to ask that question. Why do we have billions and billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars, over the years, trillions of dollars, and all these American...
The U.S. announced withdrawal of 5,000 troops from Germany, not $100,000 from Europe, while Rubio criticized NATO as a one-way street, mentioned trillions spent over years, no halt to defense spending was announced. Like, is this a real fucking account? Who the fuck is this asshole? So this is just some, like, fucking jackass.
American forces.
Why does every fucking Twitter account lie?
Stationed in the region, if we can only use, in our time of need, we're not going to be allowed to use those bases. So I think there's no doubt, unfortunately, after this conflict is concluded, we are going to have to re-examine that relationship. We're going to have to re-examine the value of NATO and that alliance for our country. Ultimately, that's a decision for the president to make.
Yeah, I mean, not unreasonable. Well, can't watch that on stream. True.
They said the government was not to be believed. Well, now they are the government. And people are still waiting to hear about exactly what happened with the first assassination attempt. They're literally telling us, do not believe what you see with your own eyes. And they're saying it over and over and over again.
Donald Trump is a prodigious liar. He lies about everything all the
I don't fucking care. What is this? Israel fascist troop arrests 5 Palestinian children today. Gathering wild plants. Children did nothing wrong. Sure. That's a real cool story. Thanks for that donation, Dodo.
Oh, you're not going to let me? We'll see about that nigger.
Yeah, we'll see. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
Is Sam Harris based here? Also, please read through comments after it's over there.
A few comments here. I'm sorry, but Sam, equating Mamdani to Trump is insane. He's infinitely more ethical than any person in the Republican Party. What do you have to say for yourself?
So apologies for one point of confusion there, which really is confusion. He's not the equivalent of Trump. He's a very different sort of character than Trump, right? But also one who we should want nothing to do with politically. I think he's a sinister figure. I think he's a none too closeted Islamist or at minimum apologist for Islamists. He's not ethically sane by my lights at all, though he can seem to be somebody who really just cares about, people who are finding it hard to make ends meet in New York, right? But if you double click on many of his political allegiances and the kinds of things his wife likes on social media and all of that, what you get is a picture of someone who's captured by a fairly sinister theocratic agenda and an anti-Semitic one. This is not about garbage trucks and cleaning up Central Park and really helping the city. The thing that really seems to animate him are these political concerns that don't have a lot to do with being mayor and have a lot to do with Israel and Islam. He's not the worst person you might find in that vein, but he's far too close to being a shill for Islamist theocrats than I would want running a major American city, to say nothing of our government, right? So if we had a Mamdani character who was a viable presidential candidate who had these kinds of ties to obvious anti-Semites and Islamists and, Muslim Brotherhood adjacent evil, I would find that genuinely terrible.
Yeah. Totally agree. Sam Harris has very base political takes. Thanks for the donation, faggot N-word.
quiet about the fact that he just basically eats junk food. So basically doing everything wrong, right? Let's try and get as jacked as possible and look as good as possible while not working out and eating junk food. If you have acne, correct the root cause, which for many of you is the quality of the food you're eating. I've talked about this many times in the past. There are so many studies and so much evidence from humans.
Paul recommends eating dairy and red meat, which are two foods that are very strongly linked with acne.
That changing the quality of the foods you eat, focusing on animal foods, focusing on unprocessed foods.
Yeah, animal foods, particularly dairy. That's the number one. Those are very highly associated with acne. Dodo, don't you tell her his destiny is such a hypocrite. Israel's a litmus test for politicians' democratic responsiveness. Will they refuse power, lobby money? Yeah. Oh, but yeah, Adam Mockler's cool, right? Fucking bitch.
Then why won't they let people talk? Why won't they let us ask questions? It's false. This is not real information. And we sit here like it's okay. It's a charade. It's a charade.
Yeah, so those are paid protesters that are trying to shut down data centers so that China can win the AI race.
Amazing. He's done so much. I mean, so much for all of us. I mean, the backbone of this country is small business, plain and simple. And the last
Trump is not good for small business. Look at the tariffs.
guy in office, all we heard was that we were the evil people, we were the bad people, everything else like that. We don't pay our fair share, whatever that's supposed to be. And he made it tough. And this guy, the big beautiful bill, absolutely amazing. You know what I mean? God bless you for letting me get 100% depreciation. It really helps out. And all I can say is this is literally, I mean, I'm a history buff and I know a lot about this White House thing and everything. Literally, he's going to go down as maybe the best president ever. I love this guy.
Probably not. I don't think anybody can beat Bill Clinton. I don't know why the Pawn Stars guy is there. It's a little weird.
Medicaid and Medicare Services is issuing billing guidance that allows clinicians to get paid for de-prescribing work for the first time. Care plan.
What does that mean? Paid for de-prescribing work. This guidance aims to reduce preventable harm from excessive, inappropriate, or harmful medication usage. That seems a little weird. Here, let me charge you for telling you to not take a treatment? Sounds a little weird. I get the idea, but it just sounds a little weird. Very round and orange-like. Wow. Oh. And it's warm. Heat is hot. Oh. Oh. Cat attack. Jesus. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
So I guess Sam Harris is maybe the only influencer on the left that has based political takes. Too bad he sent vegan. Do you remember when Isaac went to debate him on person on that? Where is Isaac?
Isaac is upstairs in his room. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo. But yeah, it's too bad he's not vegan. Sleepy donated $2. It's gonna be fucking stupid.
Tofu has soy isoflavones, which are estrogen mimickers. It's gonna be super bad for PCOS, gonna make you estrogen dominant, gonna be super bad for breast cancer. Soy has trypsin.
Why do I care? Why do you think I care to watch this? Dodo donate $2. I already fucking tell before the video even played. Bangladesh, they have designed a new type of burqa to make life easier for Muslim women. They've added a zip in the veil so that Muslim women can now eat food without showing their face. Yeah, that's just great. That's Muslim innovation for you.
That's another whole problem in society is if the vaccine was accepted by society, we didn't have an anti-vax problem. We would have had a much, much more effective distribution of vaccine in this country. You're absolutely right. I mean, if everybody universally accepted that this was a safe and effective vaccine, we were trying to get 72% of the population vaccinated, and we never really got there. Whereas other countries had 85, 90% of their people vaccinated. So I think it depends on
CCTV cameras that could potentially be taken control of by the Trump administration. And this is legislation that was opposed by immigrants' rights groups, by civil liberties groups, and by the member of color caucus in the legislature. And I'll quote from their letter. This technology, and technology similar to it, has recently been in the news for its failure to be meaningfully and consistently secured, leading to breaches that could result in sensitive data being shared by ICE and putting our immigrant and refugee communities at risk.
Are they fucking serious? Like, give me a fucking break. That's just some communist fucking brain rot. This is what Trump caused more debt than GDP, first time since World War XI. Oh, two, I think it meant 2, but 1-1 rather than II. U.S. national debt surpassed the size of the entire United States GDP for the first time since World War II. Is that true? Doesn't surprise me. But yeah, that's not good. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Single ingredient foods will improve your acne. Many of you don't need Accutane. Having said that, Accutane is very effective for acne reduction. It's the go-to by dermatologists for cystic acne. Accutane decreases sebaceous glands, which are the glands that secrete oil in your skin, but it is known to be a teratogen. So women cannot take this. If there's any chance they could be pregnant, it can cause major birth defects. And in many individuals, it can cause liver issues. So you have to get your liver enzymes checked carefully. As many of you may know, when you're taking compounds like Accutane or...
Well, last I checked, Clavicular isn't a pregnant woman, so I don't know why he's fucking mentioning that when he's talking about Clavicular.
Iso-T-retinoin that are harmful for your liver. Alcohol is not recommended. We'll get to that later. Other side effects with Accutane are an increased propensity for sunburn, a dry mouth, which is the most persistent side effect that people report after taking Accutane for a long time. A lot of people never get full hydration in their mouth back. They get chapped lips and they get dry mouth that is chronic. Accutane can also cause GI issues like irritable bowel syndrome, hair thinning, and muscle and tendon pain. So this retinoid, specifically 13-cis-retinoic acid, which is Accutane or Iso-T-retinoin, is not benign and should not be taken lightly. Many people are taking it now to clear up their skin when they could simply just be cleaning up their diets.
I'm on 12 milligrams of retatrutide.
Ooh, the hits just keep coming. 12 grams of retatrutide. You guys have heard me talk about this before. I did a whole video on.
He said 12 milligrams, not 12 grams.
My thoughts on peptides. Peptides certainly have their place, but retatrutide.
Paul's a fucking retard. This guy made a whole ramble about how you shouldn't take peptides, and he made no argument for that, and he admitted to taking peptides.
As many of you know, is a triple agonist. The issues with retatrutide are increased heart rate, which is substantial, 5 to 10 beats per minute, potential for osteoporosis, and 30.
Yeah, so retatrutide doesn't cause osteoporosis. Not exercising and not eating anything is what's giving people osteoporosis. So Clavicular's on steroids. He's also male, and he lifts weights. Not that hard, but he lifts weights. He's not at risk for osteoporosis.
To 60% of people discontinue retatrutide for GI side effects. So not only can Accutane cause GI side effects, retatrutide can cause...
Great, so if he is not having those side effects, why would that be an issue for him specifically? Hula, $2, how hard is it to have a healthy long-term relationship with someone who has borderline personality disorder? Impossible. Thanks for the donation, Hula.
GI side effects, especially at a 12 milligram dose. So right now, we're back to the place of, I want to eat junk food, therefore I'm going to take retatrutide and Accutane for my acne. There's an easier way, Clav. There's an easier way. I tried to tell you. I'm going to play the video later in this thing. I tried to tell you last year, but you don't listen.
I'm on 10 milligrams of Nebivolol. What's that?
No, Paul doesn't look like a Neanderthal. He looks like somebody who spends too much time in the sun and is a crack addict.
So 10 milligrams of Nebivolol, this is a beta blocker. And this is really to undo a lot of the effects of the other things he's taking. This is really the pattern I see with his Lux-Maxing regimen. You are going to have to take a beta blocker to decrease your blood pressure and heart rate when you're taking 220 milligrams of testosterone, when you're taking isotretinoin, Accutane, and when you're...
You don't necessarily need to take a beta blocker for that.
Taking Anavar, as you'll hear later. 12 milligrams of Reta is also going to increase his heart rate and possibly his blood pressure. So he's now to the point that he's using...
I'm on 525 milligrams test, 105 milligrams Boldenone. I take 80 milligrams of telmisartan per day. Not to even reduce my blood pressure. My blood pressure was already only 110/70. It was to just take it prophylactically to prevent left ventricular hypertrophy. So, yeah, I don't have high blood pressure. I check it almost every morning.
Beta blockers, which can cause psychiatric side effects, depression, erectile dysfunction, to undo the side effects of the other things he's taking because he just wants to not work out in the gym.
What did he say would cause those side effects?
Side effects, possibly his blood pressure. So he's now to the point that he's using beta blockers, which can cause psychiatric side effects, depression, erectile dysfunction, to undo the side effects of the other things he's taking because he just wants to not work out in the gym and eat junk food. Good plan.
It's a beta blocker.
He keeps saying this. It could have the side effect. It could have that side effect. Side effects of vitamin C. Digestive issues, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, heartburn, abdominal cramps, bloating, kidney stones, fatigue, dizziness, headache, insomnia. G6PD deficiency. High dose vitamin C can trigger hemolysis, breakdown of red blood cells, iron overload, medication interaction, reduce effectiveness of certain, medications. Skin irritation. Oh, don't take vitamin C. You could get all these side effects. It's just so stupid what he's saying. You can find crazy, bizarre, weird side effects of every drug, every supplement. These are just possible side effects that you could have depending on your genetic propensity, depending on how you're using these drugs, at what doses, for how long. Just because these are reported possible side effects, that doesn't mean they are side effects that Clavicular is, in fact, experiencing. If he's not experiencing these side effects, and he's getting the benefit from the drug, what is the issue with him taking the drugs? It's just retarded.
Blocks the beta 1 and the beta 2 receptors, which should make it a little bit easier on your heart.
Dodo $20, SVG, it's true, and you can thank Trump for it because of his tax cuts and ruining the economy, even though it was upward trajectory during Biden.
Hit a grim financial milestone. For the first time since World War II, our national debt is now larger than our entire annual economic.
Hopefully with AI, there's a big AI breakthrough and productivity can increase to make up for some of this stuff.
output. Public debt climbed to $31.27 trillion by the end of April, and that is compared to the U.S. Gross domestic product, which is $0.05 trillion less. Now, the numbers are from a nonprofit think tank based in Washington, D.C. I want to bring in CBS News business contributor Javier David. Javier, thank you for your time today. So first off, how did we get here?
Yeah, look, we have these record-shattering stock market valuations that we talk about all the time, but it obscures a very inconvenient and very more important development. In short, we just have a spending problem. Runaway outlays in Washington by both major parties. They keep running ahead of tax revenues. There's no even the slightest pretense of reforms that would rein in all of this deficit spending. And we talk a lot in these debates about discretionary and defense spending. But really, most of the heat and light in the federal budget really takes place in entitlement spending. So what we're really talking about is Social Security and Medicare. And the lack of revenue means Uncle Sam's got to issue debt in order to cover all of its spending needs. And we're now at this point where the government is just paying more in interest costs. And that's even outstripping Medicare and National Security. So we have an aging society, costs are spiraling higher, and there's really no guarantee that we can continue to just simply kind of grow our way out of this, or foreigners will continue to finance the U.S. government's profligacy.
And can you help us make sense?
Yeah, hopefully AI kind of solves that problem with, potential productivity. Ahmed gave a shout out to Mayor Wilson as he got arrested.
I work for the state. You work for the state? You know Katie? Yeah. Yeah, I know Katie. The mayor. Yeah. That's it. That's almost. That's my last word. Is there camera? Yeah. That's it. That's almost out there. No, you're being audio and video recorded, just so you know, man.
Yeah. That's retarded. Those people should get a life sentence. Like, when you commit a crime like that, where you just beat the fuck out of a 70-year-old man for absolutely no reason, just keep those people in jail. Oh. My goodness. Oh. Oh, wow. Kitties play. Cats are just so cool. I love cats. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
With the higher blood pressure and sort of
I mean, you can see here in his explanation of beta blockers that he's clearly a smart guy. He knows what he's talking about. He's done research. He's not a trained physician or anything.
Yeah, whereas you're a fucking lying fucktard.
But he's a smart kid. He's a little misguided, in my opinion.
I usually take melanotan too.
Speaking of misguided, oh boy. So melanotan 2 is a peptide. It's a heptapeptide. So it's a 7 amino acid small peptide fragment of alpha MSH, or alpha melanocyte stimulating hormone.
So notice this. It's also used to produce erections in men with erectile dysfunction. They're actually looking into the pathway in which melanotan 2 causes erections as a new treatment for erectile dysfunction. Because some people don't respond well to Viagra or Cialis. So they're actually looking into developing a new drug because of how melanotan 2 causes erections. And the way it causes erections is a little weird. Apparently, it doesn't require arousal for you to get erections. So you can just randomly pop boners, kind of like when you're in the fucking 7th grade. But it's an interesting kind of side effect. And they're probably going to make a new ED, erectile dysfunction drug, based on the kind of pathway melanotan 2 triggers erections. Dodo donate $2. Let me see.
About Jordan Peterson was that he would do this thing where he would say women in the workplace aren't getting along with men. Men don't know what the rules are. It's leading to a whole bunch of problems. It seems like it's only getting worse. We have no idea how we can solve any of these issues. And he'll stop right here. And then I think Kathy Newman did this a lot, where she would kind of ask him this question here. It's like, oh, so should women not be working anymore? And Jordan Peterson could always say, oh, I didn't say that. Oh, I didn't actually say that. Oh, I never said that. Oh, I never said that. Why? What? I never said.
Jordan Peterson's a retard. He makes a good point. Women are a problem in the workplace. You can actually look at businesses that basically exclusively hire women, where it's just women. They have far more HR complaints than mixed businesses that have a mix of men and women. And far more when it's all men working in the business. So women are the common denominator here, where they just cause problems. And it has to do probably fundamentally with a competition strategy that women use, where rather than trying to outwork other people, they just try to sabotage them. So they'll just create problems, make bullshit HR complaints, claim they're offended for absolutely no fucking reason. Like if you say, oh, that's a really nice dress, or I like your lipstick. Oh, he made sexual comments towards me. I felt uncomfortable. He was commenting on how my body looked. Like, because you said, oh, that's a really nice dress. Like, or, oh, that's really nice lipstick. Like, that's what they do. I had a friend that was working at an animal shelter. He was going to do a group photo with all the employees. The guy taking the photo told everybody to squeeze in a little bit because you're too wide, like you're too far apart to fit everybody in frame. So as per the instructions, he leaned in more, and he ended up standing closer to this girl he worked with. Guess what fucking happened after that photo was taken? This crazy bitch made an HR complaint saying, I felt like he was kind of making sexual advances towards me, and it felt really uncomfortable. He tried to get like uncomfortably close to me, and he goes into HR and he says, like, when did this happen? And then they said, oh, well, this was during the like employee group photo. And then he said, the only reason I stood closer to her was because the cameraman told us to come in closer for the photograph. I had no interest in touching her in any way. He didn't even touch her. He just stood closer for the photo. They fired him because this girl claimed she felt uncomfortable around him and she was scared and said, I think he might like try to do something to me. Like, this is what women do. So, like, Jordan Peterson does make a good point. Women are a big problem in the fucking workforce, and it's because they deliberately try to be a problem. And he's just too stupid and too weaselly and cowardly to ever describe this problem accurately and sensibly. And then when he's pressed and like asked, like, okay, does that mean women shouldn't work? Rather than like giving some kind of sensible answer, like, you know, I wouldn't say like it doesn't mean they shouldn't work. Like, it's just that like, I don't know, maybe women need to kind of grow up and be more adults and kind of contribute a bit more and not try to sabotage other people. Or maybe there's some way to kind of separate genders in the workplace to some degree to avoid some of these problems. Like, yeah, he does the weasel tactic because he's an idiot and a fucking coward, and he won't stick by anything he fucking says. And he plays that kind of stupid game.
Said that at all. I never said that. I. And he didn't technically, but he was playing like this game of descriptively edging you up until you would prescriptively blow your load. Like, he does this all the time. There's a certain amount of this that necessitates like this. There's a certain amount of this that will always like lead to this. And if you're intelligent in life, you understand that this is inevitable. One of the reasons why you tell your
okay.
We are going to all of the Democrats in the House who have not yet signed on as a co-sponsor
Oh, look, fat old ladies.
to a bill that would restore funding to UNRWA. We have
Oh, yeah, UNRWA, the terrorist organization.
widespread humanitarian needs, lack of food, electricity, water in the West Bank and Gaza, in Lebanon, and Jordan and Syria. You know, UNRWA
Yeah, UNRWA was directly working with terrorists.
serves all those countries.
There's evidence that UNRWA actually helped plan the October 7th attack.
And unlike every other one of our allies, we've cut off funding completely, and there's no other organization that has the infrastructure capable of doing this.
That's completely untrue. There's plenty of other aid organizations. UNICEF is one of them.
Thank you.
So, yeah, they're full of shit.
There is a very heroic man who is on the top of that arch right now. And Guido has been here since Friday, so that's 3 days
His name's Guido?
already. And he's here to say that we got to step it up to show our opposition to this horrific war on Iran.
Dude, being named Guido is like being named fucking, fried chicken watermelon eater if you're black.
And so we're out here to show our support for Guido, to say we love him, and to say we all have got to do more to let the Trump administration know how horrified we are about this war and how we want them to end it now. Stop Iran! We're here because
Yeah. Oh, wait, that's the Guido guy, right? Yeah. Lifetime contribution per immigrant: North American, Scandinavian, Oceania, Japan, UK, Somalia, Caribbean, Middle East, Latin America. Where's he getting? Like, I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about here. What does he mean by contribution? I'm assuming he means like net economic growth or contribution to the economy in some way. I don't know if this is like government benefit versus taxes paid. Like, it is true that you can look at immigrants from certain areas, and some of them are actually a net drain. That's happening in Canada. Most of the immigrants we're letting in, they actually have a very, very low economic output, and they disproportionately rely on government services. And again, it's just the Canadian welfare state thing. Is that all of them? Yeah, thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo donated $2. Yep, that sounds about right. Merca number 1. What do they expect university students to do? Muslim imam openly claims that girls must dress modestly even around her own father so she doesn't provoke him to rape her. Yeah, it sounds like a problem Muslims would have.
يعني وأيضا ينبغي على البنت ألا تلبس لباسا فاضحا أمام أبيها. يا جماعة بعض البنات أحيانا تكون في شبابها وجسمها جميل أحيانا ونحو ذلك وتلبس لباسا ضيقا من هالبنطلونات والبلايز القصيرة وتخرج إلى أبيها. برضو أبوها شاب إذا سلم عليها أو قبلها أو ضمها يكون
Shake her hand, kiss her, or hugged her. Dude, Muslim culture is just degenerate as fuck.
قبلها أو ضمها.
Like, Christians kind of do a similar thing. That whole purity ring thing, or not the purity ring, the purity pledge that fathers get their daughters to do. That's a weird sexual thing where fathers want to date and have sex with their daughters, but they know they can't. So a way to compensate for their frustration is trying to make sure their daughters can't date or have sex with anyone else. So it kind of gives them a sense of relief that their daughter is still theirs, technically. But I mean, they'll never, ever overtly admit, I want to fuck my daughter, and sometimes she wears revealing clothing, and it makes it so hard for me not to fucking rape her. Like that is a huge fucking step difference, like between, like, you know, crazy wacko Christians and Muslim culture. The devil might have seduced him to do certain things. Oh yeah, it's not like it's their responsibility, right? Oh, it's the devil. He made him do it.
فأنا أدعو أيضا مثل هذه البنت وغيرها إذا كانت يعني في مرحلة شبابها.
Well, you know, this guy fucked his own kids.
ألا تلبس لباسا سيئا أمام أبيها أو ربما أبرزت شيئا من ثديها أو نحو ذلك بناء على أنه أبوها لكن يبقى.
Because he's her father, but the father remains a man. No, you're not a man if you have sex with your daughter.
هذا الأب شاب فلا يجوز لها أن تلبس اللباس الضيق. الأمر
الثاني لا تخلو بأبيها.
She shouldn't be alone with her father. Definitely if you're the father, buddy.
يجلس لوحدهم في غرفة لوحدهما ولا
إنما تحرص أن تكون الأم موجودة أو إخوانها موجودون أو نحو ذلك إلى.
So tell me again why we have an issue with bombing Muslims.
What do you think about the demographic replacement of white British people in England?
I don't have an issue with it.
The demographic replacement of white British people in this country is not a good thing. It really is.
Well, let's see. Muslims come from a degenerate culture where they want to fuck their own daughters. There's massive amounts of incest within Muslim cultures, which provably reduces the average IQ of the population. So on that basis alone, you're going to get a significant reduction in overall productivity. Migrants, in general, are less economically productive, and they take more from the welfare system. So you end up having a huge fucking drain on social services, requiring more taxes, which you can't even get because you're creating a higher and higher portion of the population that doesn't really pay much taxes. Like, they're retarded Muslims, so why would you want a society filled with retarded dumbass fucking Muslims? Like, they came from a shithole country. If you replace people from a shithole country... Well, sorry, if you replace people from a good country with people from a shithole country, what do you think's gonna fucking happen? It's gonna become a shithole country.
Because it causes conflict, it causes... There's just no unity in the country anymore.
I disagree.
But why? So let's just...
He disagrees because he needs to do this grift so that he can ask for money to pay off his credit card debt repeatedly, over and over and over again.
Say, for instance...
Yeah, this guy's a fucking clown.
What do you think...
China's so advanced. Well, it's not like I could do that. Oh, that's a Boston Dynamics robot. That'll be cool, seeing those robots delivering Amazon packages in the future. Wow. Kitty go meow. Oh, Kitty's playing. Thanks for that donation, Dodo.
Long time no see, Richie. It looks like in my absence of fighting the commies with their totalitarian medicinal mandates you've been using PEDs. As I expected. You are a weakling who is hyper-obsessed with injecting foreign substances with needles. Pitiful.
Yeah, well, sounds like you're just jealous. Thanks for the donation, Corona Bro.
It's kind of interesting, VG. If you think about it, we assume society can only progress. But there is already a precedent in history of civilization progressing then deeply regressing for hundreds of years.
When Petrarch survives the Black Death after losing so many friends, he gets a letter. 2 of his friends are alive. He had given up that anyone he knew would survive. They're going to come visit him. On the way, they were attacked by bandits, and one of them was killed, and the other was lost in the mountains and wounded, and he didn't know that his friend was alive for another year and a half. And Petrarch looks around him and says, this is an age of ash and shadow. What we need is to imitate the arts of the ancients. Let's try to figure out how the Romans did it. And specifically, the problem is our leaders. Our leaders are selfish. Our leaders care more about their wealth and their family honor and their power than they do about the people. Petrarch reads about the ancient Roman Brutus. Brutus, one of the first consuls of Rome, and he learned while in office that his sons were plotting to take over the state and make him king. So he executed his own sons for treason against the state. You read them and you say, wow, if only our leaders would act like that. Well, how were they raised? Can we raise our leaders the same way? Can we make libraries filled with what young Cicero read and what young Brutus read? They're thinking, if you read about these virtuous people, you will imbibe their courage and their justice and their prudence, and then you will act like that. What did they read? Well, they read Plato and they read Homer. So we need these things. Petrarch suggests this. His students and successors embrace this idea. The next stage of it then is, okay, we've raised these princes like this, and they have the Latin and they have the Greek and they can impress everybody. And then they fight a bigger, nastier, worse war than any of the earlier big, nasty wars. So that is the war Machiavelli watched. And Machiavelli was raised on all of the Cicero and Livy, right? He was raised on the Petrarchan project. He observes these wars and he says, okay, well, clearly Petrarch was wrong that just reading the Cicero would make successful rulers like the Caesars. But I still feel in my heart a deep power in the classics. So, he says, what if the libraries are what we need, but we need to use them differently? And he proposes what we would think of as political science. We observe historical examples. We say, okay, here are 5 examples of battles that happened next to rivers. We'll put those examples side by side and see what decisions the commanders made to try to figure out which one worked better. We use history as a casebook of examples of what worked and what didn't. And we imitate what worked and we avoid doing what didn't, instead of feeling that reading about good men will make us good. We read about wise choices and we imitate those choices. This is one of the reasons Machiavelli is described by his contemporaries as a historian.
Yeah, that's interesting. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
There's no reason that some years, dozens or hundreds of years from now, civilization won't have returned to some level of anarchy like the Middle Ages, much like medieval civilization compared to the ancient Roman Empire.
I mean, that looks like it might happen sooner rather than later. But thanks for the donation, Dodo. In any case, feel like we do need to rip a Band-Aid off.
It's really funny how American university students, half of them would step on the American flag, but in Iran not a single one will. They are more American than many Americans themselves, I would argue.
Well, it's almost as if they found out the hard way why Islamic bullshit doesn't work, you know? Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo. 21st, $22, any new Frank vids? Let me see. Two weeks ago. No new Frank vids. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
Coroner Bro, welcome back, brother. Hope you stick around and keep fighting the good fight.
That's great. Thanks for the donation, 21st. Kid Boo, donate $2. Are these gonna be fucking stupid? This guy looks like an idiot.
To learn that women vote to destroy their countries. Really? Have you seen what they'll do to a fetus? But I say we focus on the positives of women voting. For instance, women love to vote to have people imported from countries with human rights violations. So in the future, when a woman cheats, we'll get to watch her play dodgeball with stones. A lot of people say since women are allowed to vote, they should be eligible for the draft. I say women shouldn't be allowed to vote and should still be eligible for the draft. Let's really give them something to complain about. Flex.
He's got a point there.
Hey, bitch, you can suck my big ass, hot, steaming, veiny, big, bulging BBC bitch, nigga. You'll never play me in life again, pussy. I just wanted to expose your frame data, bitch, you sorry ass nigga. You got away with that shit for so long, bitch. So I went, checked the lab real quick, seen everything you was doing was fake, pussy. And it's over for you, bitch. Now suck a big ass dick. Virtually, pussy. You'll never in life play me again, motherfucker. Now choke on that bitch.
Low tier gods rage freakouts are hilarious.
Woman, lady, girl.
Who you talking to?
Talking to you.
Do I know you? You calling me a lady? Get the fuck away
You
from
are
me,
a lady.
man.
What? Oh,
Are you fucking serious?
Yes, I'm calling you a lady.
You're a fucking weird motherfucker.
Come here.
Fat boy.
What'd you say?
I said you fat motherfucker.
Oh my gosh. But man.
Your fat ass away from me, you psycho fuck.
You shut up.
God damn, you gotta be kidding me.
Ma'am.
Here I gotta deal with a fucking idiot.
Ma'am, but the.
My fucking ass, your fucking head into the fucking cocksucker.
It's kind of stupid. I can't watch this. Thanks for the donation, Dota, or Kidboo.
Well, if Cody Pink gets their way, then it will happen sooner than later. They want anarchy.
Yeah, that'd be great. If Code Pink specifically would get their way. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo donated $2. Oh. 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 These kitties like watching other kitties doing stuff. Wow. That's amazing.
It is a rare, pointed insight into one of the starkest secrets in Russia, President Vladimir Putin's security protocols. And it, a detailed intelligence report given to CNN by a source close to a European intelligence agency, portrays, predictably, a Kremlin in deep crisis. Cooks, bodyguards and photographers working with Putin must have surveillance systems installed in their homes, it says. Putin has stopped visiting military sites this year entirely, it says, in contrast to last year, often spending time in fortified bunkers and keeping clear of some of his main lavish residences like Valdai. a tactic aided by many of his appearances, and he is in the media a lot, being pre-recorded. His staff cannot use smartphones or public transport, the report adds. Visitors must be searched twice.
Putin increasingly isolated. These fears grow. I mean, just how paranoid is he right now? What are you learning?
Well, I think you don't really have to look very far. Just look at the plans for the Victory Day parade celebrating the Soviet victory over Nazi Germany in World War II for May 9th on Saturday. It's going to be the first time the Russian Defense Ministry announced in the middle of the night last week, trying to bury the news. In 20 years, they've done it without the usual tanks, and armored vehicles, and ballistic missiles. They usually trundle past Putin on Red Square because they're worried about Ukrainian drone strikes. Ukraine has really improved its ability to strike deep in the heart of Russia. They hit a luxury high-rise building just earlier today in Moscow with a drone strike, and that's clearly something that Putin is worried about. He's only really 2 fully fledged public appearances all year. Energy facilities, both supporting the war across the country.
Yeah.
And
Hopefully he does get taken out.
It's
asshole. Did we watch this?
It is a rare
No. What the hell? Look at the upload date. Watch it. 14 years ago. Bill to make boycotting Israel products illegal.
You have a bill that makes boycott illegal to kind of mirror the one that just went through Israel?
To the contrary. No. The boycott law in Israel makes it illegal to support a boycott of Israeli products from the products come from the West Bank.
But I've marched with you with Cesar Chavez. That's like a non-violent protest. You believe in those things.
I do.
In Gaza, we're so concerned about what's happening there, and we support the Israelis who are doing boycott, divestment sanctions, and we're doing boycott, divestment sanctions. We are.
Well, I'm totally opposed to the efforts to get people to disinvest in Israel. I disagree with that. You're engaged in criminal activity by supporting it.
And isn't Israel engaged in criminal activities? Wasn't the invasion of Gaza and killing of all those innocent people criminal activities?
No.
This woman is fat. Why are we listening to her?
Remember going to dinner parties a few years ago, and there was always at least one person that was like,
"Sorry, I can't eat that. I'm vegan."
But nowadays it feels like being vegetarian or vegan isn't as much of a thing anymore.
Veganism is dying. No one cares about being vegan anymore.
So it's really hard to tell from the population data whether we actually have
Oh, look at that. Fat women.
I've seen a change in rates of veganism because the data is always collected in different ways, and sometimes it includes people who eat vegetarian and mostly vegetarian. But what we definitely have seen a shift in is the market for vegetarian products, vegetarian meals, and vegetarian restaurants. That's definitely on the decline.
Interest in both veggie and vegan diets peaked in 2020 according to Google Trends searches, and since then the amount of meat we're eating has risen.
We saw a rise in vegan products and vegetarian products.
Yeah, thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Who's the biggest beta, Adam Mockler, Destiny, Dean Withers, Parker, or Harry Sisson?
I can't remember some of these names. Oh, he's a faggot. Dean Withers, that's the, it's not a vape guy, right? I mean, he's a faggot. I don't know who Parker is. I don't know. They're all faggots. I guess Destiny might be the least faggoty of them all, but even though he literally sucks dick, but so probably Adam Mockler and Harry Sisson are in close competition. Thanks for that donation, Big TD.
Why did you crap her panties you biatch when Firas Zahabi challenged you to fight?
I didn't. I tore my adductor. So, I didn't want to tear it again because I could, literally become permanently disabled, so Thanks for the donation, though, Bob. Sid donated $2, Chronoboro, Kid Boo, Tun, and 21st. Why am I hearing a pinging every time I speak? La 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 la. That's really weird. All timing their attack at the same time when VG is in a bad mood would be hilarious, not gonna lie. I think they tend to do that. Thanks for the donation, Sid. Just random vids donated $2. Happy late May the 4th. Let me see. It's your dog. It's not a Wookiee. It's your dog. It's a dog that looks like a Wookiee. Next two cringe golfer lady incoming. I think I'm going to go to the hospital and get my ears checked. I've been having a weird problem, especially with my left ear, where it just gets like completely clogged.
Now, this is newly released footage of that Secretary of State Marco Rubio DJing at a wedding over the past 24 hours. This footage was released by none other than White House Deputy Chief of Staff Dan Scavino, and it shows Rubio at the DJ table, and you're going to see him picking a song, putting up the headphone to his ear, and then eventually dancing. Now, there are a lot of questions being raised online right now about people saying, well, should the Secretary of State be videotaped DJing at a wedding while the United States is at war with Iran, while gas prices are high? Is this out of touch?
A new meat company that uses lab-created cells that never stop dividing. Kind of sounds like cancer. Well, because it is.
No, it's not.
Now, this is literally an infinite, eternal, biological creature of an engine.
So, does she believe her own body is cancer? Because guess what? All the cells in your body reproduce and turn over.
That endlessly spits out animal tissue without needing a new creature. Where are we as humanity?
Yeah, that's what your own body does. You know how your skin stays like smooth and kind of like normal looking? Yeah, your skin cells die, shed, and create new skin cells. So by your own definition, she is cancer.
Like as
which is accurate. She actually is cancer. Not for that reason though.
Get this man out of the health sector. First of all, it actually holds the same biological DNA of aggressive cancers and tumors.
No, it doesn't.
And they're marketing it to us as regular meat. You know, can we do something? Can please? I have to buy cows now. Where am I going to buy cows? At least it's not crickets yet, but I know he's going to get us into crickets.
You're a dumb bitch.
No one will need a job because there will be universal high income. Okay, he said universal, not national. So that sounds like the New World Order.
Thanks for the donation, dude. Don't send me your videos over again.
Do an impersonation of Cody Pink getting their way.
I don't understand. After we destroyed the US government and all liberal democratic nations, why are Muslims trying to rape and kill me? This entire time we've been campaigning for peace, and now all of a sudden there's all these migrants that are trying to kill us after we destroyed liberal democracy. Oh no, don't rape me. Put the knife down. Oh no, you're stabbing my neck. Oh, that's so wrong. There you go. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Make this your thumbnail, nigga.
I guess I can do that. Oh my god. They just fucking destroyed. Why is this so fucking retarded now? Give me a second. They made the stream thing just so bad. It was totally fine, and they just made it that much worse. For no fucking reason. Oh, wait, crap, wrong one. There we go. All right. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
Sorry you hurt her vagina when it was time to fight a 45-year-old man who weighs 160. The same pussy who acts tough in front of Frank Tufano.
That's great. Thanks for the donation, Bob.
California governor debate right now. Gavin Newsom will be out of office soon because his term is up and he's limited x.com/i/status.
Of interrupting and bickering and name calling and shouting and
I'd literally tell this fat bitch to shut her fucking mouth after she says this.
disrespect for everyone up here who's stepping into public service.
Shut your fucking mouth, you fat bitch.
That anyone wants to talk about my temperament.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, you fat bitch.
You were actually interrupting them too. I don't know why you want to act like you weren't.
Oh, cowboy
Steve and I sat here smiling at each other because we're just watching you all prove to everyone why they can't vote for a Democrat.
Okay, that's embarrassing.
We all know that.
And I'm very proud of it.
No, well, you should.
I'm very proud of it. And guess what? You're going to swear an oath, and you swore an oath. You should know what you were swearing and be proud of defending it.
I don't think an oath keeper is qualified to be governor.
I don't think you know what an oath keeper is.
Let me answer the question. I said, if an undocumented person committed murder, they should be held accountable. They should go to jail. And you keep on saying that sanctuary prevents violent criminals from being turned over.
I said it prevents criminals.
As I said earlier.
I said it prevents criminals. Don't lie for me.
In fact, as I said earlier, thousands have been turned over since 2019.
Obviously not enough.
Steve Hilton, let me be clear. You know, I know you're recently arrived to California, but if you've read the Bay Area Institute, the UC Merced study, immigrants, if we took them all out, including the undocumented, it would be a $274 billion hit to the California
Sheriff Bianco,
economy.
just to follow up on what you were just saying there, and you said you're a proud oath keeper. Are you referring to the group?
I've sworn an oath 3 times to defend my Constitution.
Taking an oath and
yes,
as your
and
job.
everybody that wants to, like, again, lie and emotionally get all spun up about the Oath Keeper organization, I just would, before you do that, and I know none of you have, I want you to go read the mission statement of the Oath Keeper mission statement and the
I saw them
ACLU.
on CNN attacking the Capitol.
And the ACLU. I saw a politician molesting kids. Does that mean you molest kids?
What?
Exactly. Don't pull those stupid statements out and expect to not be called out.
But Sheriff Bianco,
You
just
have
to be
no
clear-
reason to.
There is
you're not
absolutely
qualified to be governor of California.
I am extremely proud of swearing an oath to defend my Constitution against politicians like this.
So this is why California is a complete shithole.
There's a rumor circulating on X that you're secretly a biological female who transitioned to a male in your teenage years. I know it's probably bullshit, but just want to confirm.
Nah, that didn't happen. Always had a wiener. Thanks for the donation, RV. Dude, California's cooked. Tom Steyer leading in polls.
Has a right to health care. But the truth of the matter is, I believe everybody in California has a right to health care. But the truth of the matter is, it is eating up our budget. And it's more than that, Alex. It is eating up every single family. You talked about how many people are giving up healthcare so they can make healthcare so they can make rent. You're talking about businesses that can't compete because healthcare is so expensive. And it is eating up the budget of the state of California. When people sit here and say, let's do the same thing, we can't afford to do the same thing. It is eating up our budget. Look at the numbers. That's why I changed my mind, Katie, because I looked at the facts. Single-payer healthcare systems cost half as much as the system in total that we have now. And
yeah, he's literally right. So, the US ain't doing too great. Some of this has to do with Americans being like some of the most fat-ass retarded gluttons you can possibly imagine. Like, the way Americans eat is just shocking. But yeah, like, this is basically all just because private healthcare is just stupid.
yes, it's going to be a big, job to get us to single payer. But the truth is, we don't have a choice because right now people are suffering. They're giving up health care. Every medical crisis turns into a financial disaster. The truth is, we don't have a choice but to go to single payer, and you need somebody who's going to fight for it. And the person who's going to fight for it.
Why do they cost
to,
less,
to,
though?
to
Clarify, Mr. Steyer.
Oh yeah, why do they cost less though? It's because the quality of care is worse. Yeah. This is what the best quality of healthcare gets you. Oh my god.
On the question of health care for the undocumented,
I said everybody in California
you would
has a right to health care. And let's answer
California
this out.
should fund that.
The truth of the matter is, immigrants built this state. Immigrants make this state run.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, we had a broken immigration system, and now you want to victimize the people who are working here and making the state run.
Thank you,
As
sir.
Antonio said, try and get rid of them. You can't do it.
Yeah, he's right. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Draw one half of the frame has VG and Gig with their wieners almost touching, then the other half of the frame zoomed in and a ruler showing that the wieners are 1/16 of an inch apart, with the caption not gay.
Okay, I can do that for you. Just give me a moment. Just want to make sure there's nothing weird on my Photoshop. Dude, we haven't even gotten through the fucking Paul Saladino video. Fuck me. There you go. Thanks for the donation gig. Appreciate it. Kid Boo donated $2.
And calls them a bitch. Bitches are female dogs, and dogs have way more positive qualities than the average woman. For instance, dogs are actually happy to see you when you get home. Unlike women, dogs are grateful. If you provide for a dog and give it love, it's not stupid enough to leave you just because it's in a new season of its life. Also, dogs sense when a person's evil and they run the other way. Women will actually run towards a man that's evil and then get pregnant by him. Flex.
This guy knows a lot about women. Must have gone through a divorce. Thanks for the donation, Kid Boo.
Heptapeptide. So it's a 7 amino acid small peptide fragment of alpha MSH, or alpha melanocyte stimulating hormone. And as the name implies, it stimulates melanocytes. Now, the problem stimulating melanocytes is it stimulates all melanocytes, which means it makes you tan without going in the sun, but it's also going to stimulate potentially precancerous melanocytes, leading
No evidence at all that it causes skin cancer.
to melanoma. So rates of melanoma are significantly increased with melanotan-2.
No evidence of that, and he's never been able to present any data indicating that. None whatsoever. Notice how he doesn't have a study on screen. Just a bunch of slides of melanomas. So there's no evidence for this. He knows there's no evidence for it, but he just claims it anyway.
The other reason melanotan-2 is taken is because it suppresses appetite and it increases libido and it increases the propensity for erections. Well, he's doing things that are inhibiting his erections, like taking the Bivolol because of all the other stuff I talked about. So melanotan-2 could help with erections, but melanotan-2 can help with erections so much that it causes priapism. And this is something that we always joked about in medical school, but it's a very serious issue. Priapism technically refers to an erection that won't go away, which, guys, this might sound like a good thing until
Guess what? There is a solution to this. You go to the hospital and they give you an aspiration. So
your penis falls off, until your penis dies. There are multiple case reports of men who have had to have penile scrotal drainage. This leads to such an intense long erection that you lose oxygenation to your penis, and that leads to ischemia, which is death of the tissues. And so the whole point of having easy erections is that you want to have sex, presumably. Side effects of this can be very serious, and you could permanently lose erectile function by taking melanotan-2. So melanotan-2 is a very dangerous peptide that is not FDA approved. It is banned.
cool story that happens to nobody. This is like, by the way, the same thing can happen with Viagra or Cialis. Is he going to say nobody should ever take Viagra or Cialis? Like, it's just so ridiculous. Oh, this is a potential side effect that you might get. Doesn't actually say what percentage of people actually get it. It's just a potential side effect. Okay, well, I guess you should never take any fucking multivitamins. No B vitamins, no vitamin C. You shouldn't eat food, because the side effect of eating food is you could choke to death. Like, it's just so stupid. So Kid Boo donated, 21st donated $2, base Japanese.
Not call me a nigger. We don't fucking care who you are. No, I am a Nigerian American. Do not call me a nigger. Just go try that. We don't fucking care. Go try your stuff. She said, you bitch, you should have stood over here. And I said, nobody told me this, man. And then she proceeded to call me a nigger. This is not a fucking unit. Go try your stuff or not. But you called me a nigger and you called me a bitch. I wanted to call you a nigger because I wanted to. You called me a nigger.
Yeah, based. Typical black female behavior.
Yeah, no, I'm on my way there now. Yeah. No. Not at all.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
You're a little bit loud. I was trying to...
No, I'm not loud.
I was trying to read a book.
What do you mean you're trying to read a book?
I'm trying to read.
And then what's that got to do with me?
I've got exams, like, literally in the next...
Why are you complaining for? No one else is complaining.
Somebody should, like, smack her in the face really hard.
Yeah, but you're being super loud.
No, I'm not. If I was being loud, someone else would have told me I'm being loud.
Even the guy in front of
you. Yeah. Yeah, you can break somebody's back doing that. It's pretty dangerous. Well, he got the smoke. Yep. It's funny when, like, the bullies who try to start a fight get their ass kicked.
So pooch.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
And SJWS say only white people can be racist.
Yeah, they say that. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Poop donated $2. You can skip the black dude talking, but have you heard about this white guy going around?
So, it's another idiot going viral for doing idiot shit, man.
Look what we got here. Shame.
Fucking cares, dude. Ooh, he did a racist. Oh, I gotta give him attention on social media. I need to hate watch him and put him, like, higher in the algorithm. Some of the people, like, I don't fucking care. Thanks for the donation.
And in the UK, it is banned in Australia, it is banned throughout the European Union, and here he is just taking it with no regard.
Because UV is extremely aging, so you want to limit your UV exposure as much as possible.
So you want to tan in a short amount of time as possible, essentially.
Yeah, because UV is damaging.
I agree with him here. I mean, it's good to be in the sun. The tan feels good. He's trying to tan 100 times faster, as he says, because the Accutane is making him hypersensitive to the UV. Tanning is great. Obviously, don't do too much in the UV. That can cause photo aging. I've talked about sunscreens in the past, all of the carcinogens in sunscreens that can potentially be also endocrine disrupting. But I think that the biggest thing for humans, and this is obviously a contentious point, but I believe this strongly, is not stuffing your body full of seed oils, which are fragile omega-6s, which can end up in your skin and cause worsening of burns when you're in the sun. This is anecdotal, but it's very...
Oh, it's anecdotal. I have no evidence. Trust me, bro. Right. Okay, so he's full of shit. There's no evidence for this. The reason UV radiation causes sunburns is because it damages DNA. It has nothing to do with omega-6 in your fucking skin. Like, this is the most retarded fucking idea imaginable. Forgot my notification utilizers. Change your text notification sound. I keep thinking it's mine. No. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Very strongly represented in all sorts of communities that when people cut out seed oils,
wow. So we've resorted to trust me, bro. We've evolved from literally lying about research that doesn't exist to trust me, bro. I heard a guy say this once.
They burn less intensely. So I think it's healthy to be in the sun. Just don't eat seed oils. I think melanotan too is not the way to get a tan, guys. It's a horrible idea.
Let's see. 21st and utilizers, what do you notice? Yeah, so this is why everyone should be allowed to carry guns to shoot people like this. Yep. Let me see. Yep, indeed.
If your skin is not brown, if you are not melanated, then you do not have the right to come under my videos talking back to my...
Yeah, I've seen her before. She's a fucking retard. This is why Canada needs Indian immigrants. It's better than Muslim immigrants, I guess. Legal mosques in India are razed to the ground, bulldozers. Yeah. Well, I've made this joke before. The good thing with having a ton of Indian immigrants is that they hate Muslims, so it helps push the Muslims away. The hell is this? Poor monkey, yeah, indeed. I don't know if that monkey's having fun or not. I will say this, black girls have some pretty amazing butts. Thanks for the donation, 21st. Kid Boo donated $2. Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica Kirk. Yeah, thanks for the donation, Kid Boo. 21st Only Tellers, do you realize your concurrent viewership went up by about 20 since you added that thumbnail? You're about 100 views for the first time in weeks. On my screen, it says 93. I don't know. I don't know if the concurrent viewership thing is entirely accurate. Thanks for the donation, though, dude.
I do take melatonin too. That's a phenomenal antioxidant if taken in high doses. And a lot of people think I'm memeing when I say taking 300 to 500 milligrams is phenomenal.
Before you sleep?
It's a huge dose. 300 to 500 milligrams of melatonin. Your body makes 0.75 milligrams of melatonin. There's plenty of good evidence, guys, that when you take melatonin, your receptors are desensitized. So I actually don't recommend melatonin. If you're having issues sleeping, the first thing you should do is stop looking at your phone at night, unless you're watching this video.
That has no effect on sleep.
And then at least finish the video. But you get the idea. Melatonin is not benign. It will cause tachyphylaxis, which is a fancy word for your body will make adjustments to this. I think melatonin is not a good long-term, and I think it's a more problematic short-term solution to insomnia than people think of. I took melatonin once or twice when I was in medical school, and I've specifically avoided it since then because of the potential downstream issues, because of
cool story, no evidence, just trust me, bro.
Potentially affecting androgens negatively. And so be aware, melatonin is not benign. It will downregulate your melatonin receptors. You will make melatonin in every single mitochondria of your body when you are exposed to infrared light, but that requires going outside.
When your receptors are sensitive, you're going to feel terrible the next day doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. So you're supposed to go to bed by going outside in the bright sun. Okay.
Which it's an extremely good antioxidant for your liver.
Mm-hmm. It's true, melatonin is an antioxidant, but every mitochondria in your body can make melatonin if you just go in infrared light.
So what you want to do is you want to downregulate your receptors.
This is just fucking retarded.
So that you're not going to feel like shit the next day.
I don't think you want to take 500 milligrams of melatonin, guys. I don't think you want to downregulate your receptors that much. That's crazy.
This is just retarded. I wouldn't recommend taking that much melatonin. It can make you actually pass out.
Easy.
I'll do a lot of L-glutathione, so that's another antioxidant
that's reasonable.
Produced endogenously, and that helps with a lot of dopamine toxicity. That helps with any liver toxicity from drinking, because I do like to drink sometimes.
Because he's drinking while he's taking Anavar, which is coming in this video, and he's taking Accutane, both of which are contraindicated when you want to drink, or drinking is contraindicated when you're taking those, but he's going to take the glutathione, which is an endogenously made in your body antioxidant, because he's doing all this other stuff. That's crazy. How do you make your own glutathione? You exercise, you go in the sun, your body will make glutathione.
You will not produce as much glutathione as you would get from a glutathione injection.
Naturally, and you have to give your body enough glycine, eating collagenous foods or collagen powders. That's one of the rate-limiting amino acids for glutathione and for collagen. Glycine is...
You will not make as much glutathione in your body as you can from just injecting it. And again, like, what are we trying to suggest here? Are we trying to suggest he should just ruin his liver by drinking and taking the stupid fucking acne medication, Accutane, and oral steroids and just not do anything about it? Or should he do that with the glutathione for some protection? So...
is essential for both. I'll talk more about collagen when I get to natural looks maxing in a second. But yeah, glutathione, this is the best thing he's taken so far. He's just doing it to undo all these other bad decisions that he's making.
And on Accutane, that's not necessarily the best thing for your liver enzymes. That's a lot of oxidative stress. So I'll take the L-glutathione to prevent that.
Okay.
I'll take NAD+, which is extremely good for the health of your cells.
NAD+, sure. If you want, it's crazy that he's thinking about the health of his cells when he's doing all this other stuff that's so harmful for him. But yeah, NAD+, okay. Also reasonable. I don't think he needs it as a 20-year-old, but in...
This is like the most retarded shit. Acne. I'm on a little over 500 milligrams test. Do I look like I have acne issues? No, clear skin. Blood pressure, heart strain. Testosterone, up to doses of 600 milligrams per week, is not associated with statistically significantly elevated blood pressure compared to placebo. So what you can find often is you'll get a temporary blood pressure increase from testosterone. A lot of that has to do with increases in estrogen, and what happens is estrogen, it reduces your diuretic hormone, and your body will basically hold on to more sodium. You'll hold more water, your blood pressure will increase. Over a short span of time, generally speaking, your body just adjusts and just starts producing more diuretic hormone, and then you flush out that excess fluid and your blood pressure goes down. So if you actually look at randomized trials on this, testosterone up to very high doses generally doesn't produce statistically significantly increased blood pressure compared to placebo. Now, everybody's different. Some people will get blood pressure increases, but again, generally speaking, you don't see a statistically significant increase versus placebo. I actually had a blood pressure increase from testosterone, but it was beneficial. My blood pressure was ridiculously, stupidly fucking low, and I was fainting like all the fucking time. I've nearly smashed my face on the countertop in the kitchen a few times because my blood pressure was so low. I think the lowest reading I got was like 65 over like 39 or something. Just ridiculously fucking low. Then when I went on steroids, it's gone up to 110 over 70, hasn't increased since then.
It's so harmful for him. But yeah, NAD plus, okay. Also reasonable. I don't think he needs it as a 20-year-old, but in light of all the other things he's doing that are harmful for him, okay.
I've used Anavar.
There's the Anavar. So Anavar is basically a steroid like testosterone, but a little bit different formulation. It goes beyond first pass metabolism, so it can be.
It's not like testosterone. It's 5-alpha reduced steroid, so it's more similar to DHT.
Taken orally as opposed to an injection. Anavar can be harmful for the liver. You have to check your liver enzymes. And
yes, it's 7-alpha alkylated, so it does damage your liver.
You're definitely advised to avoid alcohol.
You were above 100 until you wasted 3 minutes texting Pat. Maybe you should tell her to fuck off until the stream's over unless she's going to join the stream. Do you think people want to watch you text for 5 minutes straight every few minutes?
I wasn't texting Pat. It was kind of important, and I wasn't texting for 5 minutes. Thanks for the donation, jackass.
Imagine that on Anavar.
I do like to drink sometimes.
He's taking the Anavar, of course, to make himself look good and look shredded while still eating garbage food and not really working out much. Okay.
Because that downregulates something called the glucocorticoid receptor.
Well, that's wrong. So Anavar doesn't technically.
I would agree with Paul here that Clav is lazy. He does have a laziness issue, and if you're going to take steroids, you really should, do things to not require so many more medications. Like some of his blood pressure problems, they could be resolved by drinking enough water, doing daily cardio, eating healthy, not drinking alcohol, shit like that. But he won't. But that's why some of these medications exist, because, some people can't do that, or sometimes that's just not enough.
Downregulate the glucocorticoid receptor. It does affect glucocorticoid or cortisol signaling, but at a transcriptional level. So maybe this is splitting hairs, but he should know this if he's going to take this regimen without any doctor supervision. Anavar does not downregulate the glucocorticoid receptor, but
you do not need doctor supervision to take fucking Anavar. It's like one of the safest oral. Well, it is the safest oral steroid. It's really. So again, just to give you an idea of how safe Anavar is, they used to use it in children to treat stunted growth. And nothing happened. None of these children had any fucking health problems, no developmental issues, none of them died. They were all perfectly healthy and normal. So Anavar is ridiculously safe if they can give it in like like decently high doses in children for stunted growth, and nothing happened. Like like no adverse events, nothing. That should tell you it's an extremely safe drug.
It can be anti-catabolic, blocking the actions of glucocorticoids like cortisol because it's an androgen. So at a transcriptional level, it can be anti-catabolic. It's not anabolic. It's not necessarily muscle building per se, but it can prevent the break.
It is muscle building. Let me fucking tell you. Where the fuck is he getting this shit? Anavar will put muscle on you.
Down of muscle, which could happen because he's taking 12 milligrams of retatrutide and he's probably not eating a lot. Anyway, you get the idea here. It's all just a big hot.
Why is this like again, this is the guy who said Liver King is natural. And he's like this pencily fucking crack addict looking motherfucker. Like, why the fuck is he talking about steroids at all when he knows nothing about them? And then he like fucking says, well, Anavar won't build muscle. It'll just prevent you from losing muscle. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've taken Anavar. It fucking builds muscle.
Mess.
And that basically causes your adrenal glands to secrete cortisol.
I know you're very anti-cortisol.
I am, yeah.
I'm anti-cortisol too, but there's better ways to be anti-cortisol than anything he's doing at this point.
I rely on stimulants.
Cortisol is not a bad thing. It's an important antioxidant in your body. If you didn't have any cortisol, you'd literally die within hours.
Nootropics, right? Cimax is another one.
He relies on stimulants. He's talked about it. He doesn't talk about it here. He's talked about taking meth, I guess, to make his jaw look a certain way because he doesn't want to eat. Cymax, if he's referring to this, is hyoscyamine, which is something people take for IBS. There were a number of things he's taken that can mess with his gut. So he's having to take other compounds, antihistamine compounds to.
You have no idea that's why he's taking it. Like, again, he could have tried to reach out to Clav and ask, but he won't.
To maybe improve his gut. I imagine his gut is an absolute nightmare with all these compounds. Then he goes on to say he takes a bunch of.
Why would you assume that?
Nootropics. The latest thing from Clavicular is that he's saying he's fertility maxing and has talked about his fertility stack. Understandably, he is realizing that he's completely nuked his fertility with years and years.
Pretty sure he's not trying to have a kid, so why would he be on a fertility stack? Where did he see this? Tears of joy after learning that his 11-day girlfriend is pregnant with his genetically superior baby. I don't know if any of this is true or if it's just some like fucking bullshit. So this is a contradiction. This guy literally just said, oh, Clavicular has to be sterile and have really poor fertility. He was dating this girl for 11 days and he got her pregnant. So clearly he doesn't have any fertility issues. And where did he hear, like, where's the fertility stack? He doesn't even show any evidence of this. He just says it. Like this guy is just such a fucking pathological liar.
And has talked about his fertility stack. Understandably, he is realizing that he's completely nuked his fertility with years and years of testosterone and Anavar. His testicles are producing.
Then why did you just say he got his girlfriend pregnant after 11 days?
None of their own testosterone. There are essentially zero sperm in his testicles, which may not be a bad thing, depending how you see it. So he's taking HCG, human chorionic.
You will rarely ever see anybody have zero sperm in their testicles from taking testosterone. Rarely ever. Especially for somebody that young who's only been taking for a few years. Sometimes you see that in bodybuilders who've been like blasting high doses for over a decade. But usually when you see that, they already had fertility issues to begin with, even without the steroids.
Gonadotropin, HMG, human menopausal gonadotropin. These mimic LH and FSH, respectively. These are signals from the pituitary gland to the testicles.
Where's the evidence that Clav is taking this? He's just claiming it. He's not actually showing any evidence that Clav takes this shit to produce more sperm. Why would Clav be interested in producing sperm?
Testicles to produce testosterone. So when you are taking TRT or steroids, you are giving your body so many exogenous androgens that your feedback in the pituitary says we don't need any more, and these LH and FSH compounds are not produced, and the testicles don't make their own testosterone. So taking HCG and HMG can give the signal to the testicles, which they need to produce their own testosterone, and those signals are also important to tell your testicles to produce sperm. So I guess he's trying to fertility max again. Now, the good news here is that many men who take TRT or steroids, which I don't really recommend steroids at all, TRT is a whole separate situation, they can perhaps regain fertility with HCG and HMG. It'll be interesting. There's also a chance that clavicular...
I would say the majority of dudes on TRT don't even need HCG monotherapy.
May never regain fertility, but I would say there's a higher chance that he will be able to get fertility back with some of these other supplemental means. He also says he's taking clomiphene, which is a selective estrogen.
Pretty, like, it is extraordinarily rare that somebody is infertile if they use modern fertility medications.
receptor modulator. It tells the pituitary estrogen is low, and the pituitary then produces more LH and FSH. So you need to give that LH and FSH signal back to your testicles, which he's trying to do. The rest of his fertility maxing regimen is a bunch of nutrients, which are great: coenzyme Q10, carnitine, zinc, folate. These are amazing. They're found in animal foods. We'll get to that in a moment when we talk about natural looks maxing, but it's an indication that, okay, he's doing the right things, but you could get all of
Yeah, natural looks maxing from the fucking deranged crack addict.
those things just if you were eating a nutrient-rich diet, which of course he's not eating. He's eating garbage food. He's eating McDonald's and Burger King. And so guess what? McDonald's and Burger King are not that rich in folate, not that rich in coenzyme Q10 or L-carnitine. I suppose there's some meat from McDonald's or Burger King that has L-carnitine, but this guy, he's going to need all those supplements that he could just get from good quality animal foods if he wants to improve his health or his fertility. As he says in this video also, it's interesting to note that he's taking stimulants. An old post of his on looksmax.com, I had no idea this was even a thing, shows his previous regimen, which is even more intense than his current regimen. He was taking a higher dose of testosterone, and he was taking 3 grams of caffeine per day. That's crazy. This is how much stimulant he needs, I don't know, to get through the day, to suppress his appetite. 3 grams of caffeine a day. A cup of coffee has around 100 milligrams. That's 30 cups of coffee per day in caffeine. That's not a safe dose. No wonder he needs a beta blocker from how stimulating that's going to be, how much it'll push his blood pressure and his heart rate. That's crazy. If you read this post, you can also see that he was taking 10 grams of creatine. Oh, that's good. Again, that's some of the best stuff he's taking. He's taking telmisartan, which is basically a medication for blood pressure as well. So you know that when you have to take blood pressure medications I believe he was probably 18 when he wrote this post in 2024, you are on the wrong track, but he has not.
No. He was probably taking telmisartan as prophylactically to prevent LVH. He doesn't even know why he was taking telmisartan. I'm taking telmisartan for that. I didn't need to be on blood pressure meds. I just took telmisartan specifically because it prevents LVH, regardless of blood pressure.
Not woken up to this reality. He was also taking 10 milligrams of Cialis. I have no idea what for. When you're taking all these things, it's
Cialis is great. I was on Cialis when I had depression because it absolutely killed my ability to have an erection. It's very effective. And Cialis just makes sex feel better. So even if you have normal sexual function, if you take Cialis, you're just going to have bigger, harder erections. And especially for me, I have low sensitivity. Cialis improves my sensitivity. So sex just feels better. And on top of that, it's just a reality. A lot of young dudes, especially who are newly sexually active, they get nervous and they're worried about, disappointing their girlfriend or something. Taking something like Cialis gives you a bit of a confidence boost. Oh, I took the Cialis, I can definitely get erections. And it gets rid of that performance anxiety. So it has a bunch of benefits, both obviously because it fucking works, and also just congratulations, you're banned. And also just because it gives you a confidence boost. So, and it also lowers blood pressure and shit. So
possible that he's completely basically nuked his ability to have erections properly or get aroused. And you're defeating the whole purpose of this. The whole purpose of this is to be a fertile, presumably healthy human, and reproduction, sex is...
Why the fuck does he care about fertility?
Great in those contexts, but wouldn't it be better to do it naturally? I won't even go through this full post, but he also...
No, I don't know why the natural route is better. Nature is inefficient and ineffective. So please show me anything that is natural that is as effective as Cialis. You're not going to find it. Show me anything that's natural that's as effective as 400 milligrams of test per day. Or sorry, per week. 400 milligrams of test per day is insane. But yeah, it's just stupid. You're not going to get the anabolic and mood boosting effects of testosterone at 400 milligrams per week. You're not going to get that effect from something natural. It's just so stupid.
Says he's taking Tren, which refers to trenbolone, a strong steroid with many massive side effects. He said in another post, the Tren made him feel crazy. Yes, steroids can make you feel depressed or anxious, cause insomnia. This is not the way to go, guys. So scary stuff. He's taking 20 milligrams of Lasix, which is a diuretic, 5 milligrams of memantine. Then he says his club stack is pregabalin plus baclofen. So he's just in the clubs, getting completely messed up, drinking alcohol, messing up his liver, taking testosterone. The most liked comment on X in response to his stack is a meme, which I think accurately sums up what's going on here. Look, he's a smart guy. I just think he's going about this all wrong. So I'll put a clip here of when I met him.
This guy's so fucking stupid. Natural looks maxing. But this guy looks like a crack addict. Look at him. Natural looks maxing? Are we serious here?
Show me your bills, right? This isn't all to say that looks maxing is a bad thing. I think about the way that I look. I'm 48 years old. I don't take testosterone. I never have. I've never taken exogenous hormones or steroids.
Yeah, we can fucking tell. You look like a fucking starving crack addict.
I've shown my blood work many times in the past. So I want to be fit. I want to be attractive. I think looks maxing is good. But let's talk about this. There is a natural way to looks max. Let me enumerate this for you guys.
Yeah, you're pretty bad at it.
Guys, let's start. Eat animal foods. All of the nutrients he's taking to fertility max are found in animal foods. We talked about this. Coenzyme Q10, folate.
Like, dude, just look at this guy's shoulders and arms. He looks like a starving fucking crack addict. And then versus, look at how fucking good I look. I'm fucking mogging Leon Kennedy here. Absolutely fucking mogging Leon Kennedy. Like, give me a fucking break, dude. It's just, who's doing it better? Me or fucking Paul? Like, let's see Paul wear a shirt like this and look as good as me. He'd look like a fucking emaciated twink bitch crack addict fucking retard.
Folate, zinc, etc. Eat meat, eat eggs, eat some collagen, make some bone broth. If you don't eat bone broth, do some bone broth powder or some collagen powder.
Yeah, so this is stupid.
Get glycine to make collagen, go outside, get some infrared light, get a small amount of UV light, don't burn your skin, make melatonin in your mitochondria. All of this is available for free, but the list goes on. How else can you naturally look max? How about sleeping? You want to
Yeah, so I'm doing it better than you, clearly. Okay, this is your protocol, and we know my protocol. Who's doing it better? Like this guy's a fucking retard. What a dork. Absolute fucking dork.
It's kind of morphed into more like they have a biblical right to your support. And if you define it that way, which I think Tucker does, more and more people are like, well, I'm out. Beirut is starting to look like Gaza, and you're unapologetic about it. And now I'm sick of it, and I don't care. And I
Curtis Sliwa, who's the Guardian Angels founder and former Republican candidate for mayor of New York, Geraldo Rivera, the correspondent-at-large of News Nation, Mockler, political commentator, and Midas Touch contributor, and Annika Spencer.
This guy isn't a political commentator. He's a fucking beta male retard.
Host and executive producer of The Young Turks.
And this is just a dumb bitch.
Aldo, let me start with you. You've always struck me as a reasonable voice in America, in a cacophony of mayhem. This war in Iran, from where I'm looking, and I raised these concerns after day one, and nothing has shaken my belief. It looks to me like Donald Trump has got into something which has turned out to be a lot more difficult than he thought it would be, perhaps because the Israelis had assured him it would be easier than this, and that now he's in a position where, if he carries on, it's politically...
Oh my god, this is just so retarded. Iran's military is completely and utterly defeated. They have no aircraft. Like, again, what's hilarious is and this is all coming from China, by the way. You all heard of those news stories of, oh, Iran shot down an F-15. America's losing the war. A single F-15 was shot down. 2 pilots had to be rescued. So because there was one F-15 that was shot down, and I think there was one, it might have been just an accident with a refueling plane that basically crashed. Oh, America's losing the war. Iran has absolutely no aircraft. All of their fucking aircraft is destroyed. They have 0 air force. So on the one hand, America loses just one fucking F-15. Oh, we lost the war. Iran has lost literally every single aircraft. Oh, Iran's winning. The only reason they're able to keep the strait closed, by the way, is just because of drones. Like, that's it. It's just shitty, dumb, little fucking, $500,000 fucking drones that they're able to fly into these ships. And yeah, that's hard to deal with. So they can keep making these drones because they're so fucking cheap, easy to pilot, all that crap. So that's the only thing that's like fucking difficult. And yeah, it's going to require an agreement from whatever regime exists in Iran. But militarily speaking, the US has won. It's the only problem right now is that, yeah, in order to stop these like fucking drones, there is going to have to be some kind of agreement made with the current regime. Or like, it would be difficult just completely eliminate the entire regime. I don't know how feasible that is or how long that would take. But America's won militarily. What they're saying is just fucking retarded.
Disastrous, economically disastrous. And if he gets
and they've
out,
won by their own standards.
He'll have the accusation that it's all been a waste of time and a failure. You know Trump extremely well. You've known him longer than I have. What would you be advising him right now?
I think, Piers, nice to see you. I think that, first of all, now that there are dueling blockades, now that we are blockading Iran and their commerce, and they are, of course, blockading the world's oil supply, 20% of the world's oil supply, you have this, I think that the blockade by the United States of Iran and its commerce was a brilliant move and a losing hand. I think that the war has gone not the way anyone in the United States side wanted it to. It's been bloodier, more prolonged, seemingly more pointless, has no end in sight.
Dude, this is just stupid. So they're not going to be able to make any money. Like, the U.S. seems to be committed to like keeping up this blockade until an agreement's made. So they're going to be starved of money eventually. This can't keep, like they can't keep closing the strait. It's not possible. And again, after a certain amount of time, China's going to end up intervening and force Iran to lift the blockade. I think China has something like 450 days of reserve oil. Once that reserve is up, China's going to have to make some kind of move. And in all likelihood, it's going to be to pressure Iran to just open up the strait and force them to make some kind of agreement with the U.S. So, I don't know how, I don't know how the negotiations are really going to go, but basically at this point, again, Iran's completely lost militarily. They're essentially just throwing some stupid hissy fit. And it's just a matter of time until either their regime is wiped out or they're just forced to open up the strait because they're completely fucking broke and they have no money left. Something's got to fucking give. Son Goku donated $2. You ever play Tetris? Yeah, I played Tetris. I think everybody's played Tetris. Thanks for the donation, Son Goku.
But now that you have this situation in the strait, in the Persian Gulf generally, I think that the blockade, the American blockade of Iran, is more impactful than the Iranian blockade, even though they are stopping the world's oil supply. I think what has to happen is what appears to be happening now with this Project Freedom, using as an excuse the humanitarian needs of the crews of all the vessels that have been stranded because of the Iranian blockade, using the fact they've been on these vessels now for many weeks with no end in sight. I think that the United States Navy has to be aggressive. And let's see. Iran says it has the Straits of Hormuz closed with its drones and its small craft and et cetera. Let's test that. I think that once more into the breach. I think that the United States has to try and see whether or not Iran has the capacity to close the strait. I believe that a kinetic response to any actions against any neutral ship has to happen, has to be dramatic, has to be overwhelming, has to be soon, or we leave with our tail between our legs. Piers.
Okay, I meant to mention earlier, forgive me, Deborah Lee, Conservative Insular, is also joining us. Deborah, nice to see you. Sorry, the eagle-eyed viewers would have seen 5 faces pop up and thought, who's the other one? So it's Deborah, welcome back. Anna Kasparian, welcome back to you. I want to play a clip from John Bolton, which is kind of summing up what a lot of people on his side of the argument are feeling right now. Let's take a look at this.
Okay, Ambassador, who is going to blink first here? How does this finish?
Well, it's anybody's guess at this point. I think the United States holds a great advantage here, but it hasn't finished the job that was started. My definition of finishing the job is ousting the regime in Tehran, but there are steps less than that Trump could take, and I'm a little surprised that he hasn't done it. For example, if he were to use military force to open the Strait of Hormuz, which does not involve going back to the kinds of attacks we saw 3 or 4 weeks ago, if he could do that but keep the blockade on Iranian oil shipments, that would continue to put a huge financial squeeze on Iran, but would get a lot of much-needed oil out of the Gulf and into international markets. I think that is certainly something he can do to up the pressure, keep things moving, and avoid having to make some of the choices he clearly doesn't want to make and shouldn't have to make.
I mean, Anna, this comes to the backdrop, as I discussed with Megyn Kelly, where you've got the Israelis itching to get back into fighting in Iran. They're making no secret of that. Already a lot of stuff going on again in Lebanon. There are conflicting agendas at play here. Trump getting a lot of pressure from all sides. A lot of people wanting to end this right now. Over 60% of Americans are not supportive of this war in Iran. Unprecedented negative numbers for a military conflict like this. What do you make of where we are? And what do you think is going to happen here?
Well, I think that the only way to secure the opening of the Strait of Hormuz, so you have transit of incredibly important cargo, including, energy supply that the globe needs, is to do so diplomatically. If there were a military option to...
Oh my God. Why don't they fix this by agreeing with each other? Wow. Yeah, just wonderful political commentary.
do so. I believe that military option would have been used already, but
Why did we go to war with Hitler? Why couldn't we just like agree? Like,
we don't have that military option. Just to give you a comparison, when the United States was at the height of the war in Iraq, we had about 250,000 soldiers dedicated to that war. Right now we have what, 10 to 15,000 military personnel.
she doesn't understand like why the war in Iraq is different. The United States won the war in Iraq, the second one. They defeated the Iraqi military within days. The reason there was an ongoing conflict in Iraq was because there were these multiple different terrorist factions that were trying to vie for power. And the US was dealing with a variety of Sunni and Shia Muslim groups. How the fuck is that in any way similar to fucking Iran?
Personnel. We're not even talking about the entire, number of troops being in combat.
She's such a dumb bitch. Emma Donatello's America's One says literally no one ever except the orange pedophile. He's never fucked a kid. By the way, China still has access to Iran's oil. You do know there's something called trains that exist, right? Yeah, so all of the oil that China gets is through the sea. You don't, like, oh my god. It has to be shipped through the Strait of Hormuz. It goes to some location, then it gets trained in. You're a fucking idiot. Thanks for the donation, dumbass.
Or even able to engage in combat in the Middle East right now as we speak. So the point that I'm trying to make is there is no military option. When you look at the military weaponry we have, when you look at our THAAD missile interceptor system and the fact that we've depleted 80% of our missile interceptors, that puts our troops at a significant...
That's classified intelligence. There's no data on the amount of missiles or missile interceptors that the US has. It's entirely speculation.
Disadvantage. And I'm not the one saying this. The Wall Street Journal...
And by the way, missiles are not a finite resource. You can make more.
Reported very specific details about how much of our weaponry and interceptors have been depleted already. And we do not have the manufacturing capacity to build quick enough in order to basically withstand the...
Cool. Where did you hear the story? How do you have access to classified intelligence? You know you're a dumb bitch, right? You're a fucking dumb middle-aged bitch. So why should we take you seriously?
Very cheap drones that Iran is able to quickly produce. So the point that I'm trying to make here, Piers, is that you have to reach an agreement diplomatically, and leaders lead, meaning that President...
Make an agreement diplomatically. Well, how the fuck do you do that? I think one of the ways you do that is with military victories. Like, how do you think we got the Nazis to agree to surrender? How do you think we got the Japanese to surrender? I think it was through military victories. Like, are you fucking stupid?
President Donald Trump has the leverage, has the power to force this in a diplomatic fashion. He just needs to
force it in a diplomatic fashion. Does he, like, what? He just needs to use the right words. Trump says that he knows a lot of words. He knows all the good big words. Why doesn't Trump use his good big words and make them agree with him?
Basically push Israel aside and actually be a leader, not have Israel, dictate our foreign policy.
Curtis Sliwa, welcome to you to Uncensored. You're a former Republican candidate for mayor of New York, and I should just say at this point, my thoughts go out to Rudy Giuliani, former mayor of New York, and to his family. He's in critical condition in hospital, which was very sad news in the last few days, and I interviewed him actually on Uncensored only 2 weeks ago, so my best wishes to him and his family.
Like, it's so annoying that one of the biggest, like, political talk shows, they invite Anna Kasparian on. Like, oh my god, dude, just the internet is just brain rot fucking trash. Like, this is being taken seriously as like a legitimate opinion. Give me a fucking break. And there's no one who's giving her any pushback.
And I hope he comes through that. But in terms of this war, a lot of Republicans I've been talking to are now having serious doubts about this. The longer it goes on, we were assured it was going to be over in 2 to 3 weeks, then 6 weeks. And now here we are over 2 months into this with no sign of it coming to any end anytime soon. And the obvious economic damage it's causing with gas prices.
Actually, Anna is only 39, so she's not middle-aged yet.
No, she's middle-aged. What's the average life expectancy in the US right now? Isn't it like 79? Yeah, 79. So she's basically dead on middle age. Guess for females it's 81.4. But yeah, she's like dead on middle age still. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
And with inevitably food prices because of the loss of fertilizer that's being held up and so on. What do you make of it? Are you still supportive of this war, do you think, as John Bolton?
Also, more importantly, if everyone just focused on fucking lifting and getting jacked, none of this would fucking matter. We wouldn't have these stupid fucking problems. Just go to the fucking gym, get fucking jacked, eat your fucking tofu, take your steroids, just focus on bettering yourself. If everyone did that, we wouldn't have all these bullshit fucking problems.
Does that now you're in it, you've got to finish it and maybe trying to affect regime change as well?
Well, Piers, I'm happy that you played John Bolton, who was the national security advisor for Trump in his first 4 years. Because remember, it was Bolton who barged into the president's office and said, Mr. President, you have to launch the Air Force because the Iranians just shot down a very expensive drone over the Straits of Hormuz. And the President Trump said, it's unmanned, right? Where's the proportionality? And Bolton wanted us to just bomb Iran. He's a war hawk. That's why I'm shocked that President Trump, who kept us out of these ongoing foreign disputes, did not get us involved, has suddenly flipped the script. Stupid. And now he's war hawk number one. And we all know why. He's been pushed into this. BB, an excellent salesman, convinced him that if you come in with us, there will be regime change, there will be insurrection in the streets, even though our CIA and Marco Rubio told the president the next day after that meeting, that's not going to happen. And we see that Trump...
Okay, so all these people are just fucking retarded. When's the gay retired Adam Mockler gonna talk?
Even the bad ones are because he solely wanted to do them. As far as this war, as somebody who has wanted to see the end of the Iranian regime or the Islamic Iranian regime for a very long time, since childhood, growing up around Jews who fled from Iran very young, I'm kind of surprised that the war is still going on at this point. And as far as Anna said earlier, diplomatically, ideally, this would be a diplomatic exit. But a big challenge that we've seen, I can't attest to the exact numbers, but they prepared for this exact situation. There are factions split across the entire country. So even if the United States were to make a deal with somebody in Tehran, there could be a separate faction up in the north or in the south or somewhere that would challenge a diplomatic exit that would really create a...
Rudy Giuliani's in the hospital right now. Well, I mean, he's old and probably under a lot of stress from being broke.
Safety for the entire region. So at this point, I never thought that they were actually going to go after the Ayatollah. That was shocking for me. I didn't think that the United States of America would really take that chance, not knowing that we can guarantee regime change. Would I love regime change? Absolutely. Do I see a clear off-ramp for this war? Absolutely not. We cannot just surrender to Iran because simply with flights, I'm flying to Israel in a few weeks. If we tell Iran that at any point they launch ballistic missiles, they can shut down airfare for the entire Middle East, can take complete control of the Strait of Hormuz, that is a dangerous position to leave them in. So I think we're at a really unfortunate time, but that's why I trust the leadership that I voted for in this administration. I trust them to get out of this in the best way possible. And at the very least, if we do get out without no more additional changes, it was avenging the close to 1,000 Americans who've been murdered by the Islamic regime over the last 47 years. So it wouldn't be a total loss.
But, you know, when you say you trust this administration, okay, but you voted for them, and Donald Trump couldn't have been clearer when he campaigned to be president in 2024. He was not going to take America into any more of these Middle Eastern wars. And then within a year or so, he's gone into the biggest one imaginable. And we've all seen the consequences.
Well, President Trump has also been very clear that he will not allow Iran to get a nuclear weapon. And Iran is committed to a nuclear weapon. I know we destroyed a lot of their weaponry last June. That was miraculous. But at the same time, they're not going to stop building. They're not going to stop enriching uranium. We saw this with the Obama-Iran nuclear deal, which was horrible. They are committed to building nuclear weapons and trying to destroy the western part of this world with everything that they got. They will divert every resource to try.
Like, by the way, the pushback against Trump backing out of the Iran nuclear deal was just fucking stupid. So, the reason Obama made the deal he did was because there was already a war in Iraq. There was a war in Afghanistan. They didn't want to have another fucking war in the Middle East with Iran. It just would have been pretty untenable. So they ended up having a diplomatic solution where, you know, there's going to be UN inspectors that would prevent Iran from making nuclear weapons. But it basically allowed the Iranian regime to have a lift on sanctions, which allowed them to make more money, which allowed them to fund more fucking terrorism. And guess what fucking happened? There was the October 7th attack. Hamas was more well-armed and prepared than ever. Same with Hezbollah, same with the fucking Houthis. So Barack Obama's policy, like, I wouldn't criticize it given the circumstances. He kind of had to do it. It wasn't good. It was not an ideal situation because it gave the Iranian regime lots of fucking money to fund more terrorism, which led to all these fucking problems we're dealing with today. So, yeah, Trump backed out of the fucking nuclear deal because it was fucking stupid. There's no more war in Iraq. There's no more war in Afghanistan. There was no reason to keep that fucking nuclear deal because it allowed Iran to just fund more fucking terrorism. And again, it created all these fucking problems we're dealing with today. So it was a good decision that he made.
and destroy Western civilization. And so I'm not surprised that we need to keep our, for lack of a better word, our knee on their necks to make sure that they are not trying to destroy the world that we know and love.
Yeah, I'm just not quite sure whose knee is on whose neck at the moment, because it looks to me like, as I've been saying regularly, there's an asymmetric war going on. One is the military conflict, which America and Israel have overwhelming superiority. I don't doubt for a moment they've caused enormous damage to Iran's military. But there's also the economic war being waged around this Strait of Hormuz, which has enormous global consequences, as we're seeing. And at the moment, that strait remains shut, despite all the protestation and late-night rage tweets from the president. There seems to be very little he can do to get it open again. Let me bring in Adam Mocker. Welcome to Uncensored, Adam. You've obviously hit the headlines in the last few days. For those who haven't seen it, I think it's up there with my Russell Brand clip as the two most memed and republished clips of the week. So let's take a look at your one. This is you with Scott Jennings at CNN.
I mean, honestly, they've been at war with us for 47 years. We all know that Scott Jennings is more than happy to defend a war with a country that starts with the letters IRA.
I was annoyed with the way you were gesticulating. I probably would have done too. But I've not seen him that rattled. Scott Jennings is normally ice cool on that panel show. I watch it a lot. I think he's a really interesting
Yeah, that's because Adam Mockler is an annoying fucking whiny beta male bitch cunt, and you'd expect him to frustrate someone.
Commentator for the right on CNN. It's an unusual beast. They don't have many of them. And he holds his own often against 3 or 4 people. And on this occasion, Geraldo was also on the panel, I noted. And we'll come to Geraldo for his view of it in a minute. But I haven't seen Scott Jennings react like that to anybody. And that, to me, in the same way that I'm seeing with Donald Trump's slightly erratic and, quite angry and testy social media activity in the last few weeks, it just looks to me like people that have gone all in on this war in Iran. Now it's not playing out in any way that they predicted or told everybody that it was going to play out. They're getting testy. They're getting quite angry about it, which is a natural human reaction, but is increasingly obvious. And I thought your exchange with Scott was indicative of that. What did you think?
I don't want to take away from the point that I was making in the question that I was asking in that moment, because I have sat on panel after panel after panel with Scott Jennings as he lies about this war, not bound by any facts whatsoever, as he makes failed predictions, not bound by any timelines whatsoever, and as he condescends and trolls and provokes everyone else on the panel. I mean, even in the same panel, he made fun of my bedtime like 5 minutes earlier. So this is a man that's not bound by any facts or timelines or rules. So I said, I'm not going to be bound by rules that my opponent is not playing. So you can say that I was gesticulating a bit too much. That's a fair criticism, but he could have politely asked.
Like, why is anybody listening? Like, look at this guy. He looks like he's made out of fucking Play-Doh. Like, why is anybody listening to this gay fucking 12-year-old?
Asked me to tone it down. That is not what he did. He snapped because he realized he does not have an answer to the simple question, name one political concession we've gotten from Iran 60 days into this war. We've had moving, shifting time.
How is that a problem? How long did it take to get Japan to fucking surrender? Like, we had to nuke them twice to get them to surrender. And it was actually a miracle that they even surrendered. The military didn't want to surrender. It was the Emperor of Japan that actually caused the surrender. And the military was actually trying to kill the Emperor of Japan and stop him from going to the radio station to announce the surrender. So it was actually a fucking miracle that even happened. If they had successfully stopped the Emperor from going to the radio station, Japan would still be going to war, even after the 2 fucking nukes. So, like, was that a military failure on the United States' part? Bombing hundreds of thousands of fucking Japanese? It's just retarded. Like, if the enemy isn't reasonable and they're fucking crazy and radical and they're willing to fight to the last man no matter what you fucking do, that doesn't mean you're failing militarily or diplomatically, you fucking idiot.
Timelines, shifting objectives for this war. They've been lowering the threshold for what victory is considered as. And just because I asked the question of, hey, what?
They haven't. They've literally said they wanted to defeat, they wanted to destroy their military, stop them from making a nuke, and they want to open the Strait of Hormuz. Those are the objectives. Regime change isn't necessarily an objective. So what did they do? They have defeated Iran militarily. They have at least succeeded in preventing Iran from making a nuke. It looks like they're still trying to make one. Israel is very soon going to launch an attack to prevent that. US is probably going to help. And the Strait of Hormuz is a very difficult situation because, again, they can keep the strait closed with just cheap, stupid little drones. So like, what the fuck do you want him to do? Like, please, somebody give Trump godlike fucking powers to make everybody agree with him. Like, I don't know what you want him to do.
What concessions have we gotten that pisses him off? We've seen billions of dollars spent. We saw dozens of people, thousands of people in Iran have died, tens of thousands, but we saw over a dozen U.S. soldiers die. So I'm going to continue to ask this very same question.
12 U.S. soldiers died. Some of those are actually accidents, by the way. They're not actually they're not actually casualties caused by Iran. One of them was a refueling accident. So, oh, well, I guess we got to stop the war. 12 U.S. soldiers died. We lost. 12 U.S. soldiers died. I guess we can never go to war because a dozen U.S. soldiers might die. Like, this guy's a fucking idiot, dude. Buddy, you're a fucking 12-year-old. I don't know if this guy still lives with his fucking parents. Like, what the fuck do you care about 12 U.S. casualties? Like, you're a fucking cocksucker. By the way, I can guarantee you, all the fucking 12 soldiers that died, they're probably like Republicans that support Trump. This guy's probably would be happy that they died if he knew their political affiliation. Like, fuck you, asshole. You're a fucking cunt. What the fuck have you done for this country other than spread communist fucking propaganda? Like these people actually fought for their fucking country, are trying to stop Iran from making a nuclear weapon. And like again, this also plays into the whole geopolitical strategy of, you know, preventing China from invading Taiwan and creating an even bigger war. They're actually doing something useful. You're a fucking little bitch, beta male fucking 12-year-old cocksucker twink spreading communist propaganda like a fucking asshole.
What political concessions have we gotten from Iran 60 days into this war? The answer is absolutely none, and he knows the answer is none. That's why he freaked out.
Yeah, I think it's a perfectly
And don't
reasonable...
apologize.
No,
Don't
no,
apologize for
I
your
don't think you should be
gesturing.
apologizing.
I still don't understand what fucking point he's making. Oh, radical jihadists that love death, that think if they die committing jihad, they're going to get 72 virgins in heaven. They're unreasonable and can't be negotiated with. Oh, like, Trump's losing. Like, what the fuck do you want?
No, I mean, let me bring Geraldo in firstly, because Geraldo, you were on the panel. I want to play your reaction on News Nation to what you saw on that panel.
The kid was a dick. I mean, he really was smart, eloquent, had his argument together, had obviously debated Scott before, and he was really being a dick. I mean, it was shut up, you know.
Yeah, fuck you, Adam. Everybody knows he's a cunt.
You realize oil only makes up 18% of China's total energy consumption, right? Most is coal and renewables. 20% of their oil is from Russia, much of it is from Indonesia, and then a significant portion is from the Middle East, but it's overall insignificant.
Oh my god, you are actually fucking retarded. If you think China can run an economy and a military with a 20% energy deficit, you're fucking insane. Thanks for the donation, stupid.
Go ahead and get some life experience.
How many different...
I wasn't sure if you were talking about Chris Cuomo there, actually, Geraldo. I had to clarify you were talking actually about Adam Mockler. Now,
you still think so?
Well, Adam, I mean, what do you want to say to Geraldo? He called you a dick. You have a response?
Yeah, it's not a dick to try to force a critical question and try to force the conversation to where the American people want it. Geraldo, you were there when...
You're a cunt, you're a lying cocksucker, you're a dick.
And Scott made fun of my bedtime 5 minutes earlier. Again, this is somebody not bound by any rules whatsoever on this show.
56 years so far. And
like, I still haven't seen him make a fucking point.
Something in combustion.
Scott Jennings made fun of my bedtime or whatever. Not that I care, but he...
There was very cool. And what does that tell you about the state of the conservative right? When you've got people like Mark Levin saying Tucker's mentally ill, everyone trashing Candace Owens and her trashing everybody else. There is a real split going on the conservative right. And they're...
Like this is one of the biggest political, you know, commentary YouTube channels, and it's just fucking brain rot retardation. Like the internet is actually a fucking cesspit of retards. There's no reason to listen to these fucking people.
Maybe hate science. 300 million
from. Where does the buildup come from?
I'm going to take you in history now, and I'm going to give you something that's really, it's going to make you maybe hate science or medicine or institutions, which I know it's, at that time he was around 34 years old. His name was Alois Alzheimer. And he took this patient, and over a 3-year period.
That's unfortunate. Imagine having a last name Alzheimer and having Alzheimer's.
He tracked all of her symptoms, and he's got a book. He tracked everything about her because he thought it was so mysterious.
Kid Boo donate $2. Fuck, Mary, kill, Anna Kasparian, Candace Owens, AOC. Jeez. I think I'd go with kill AOC, fuck Candace Owens, marry Anna Kasparian. The only reason Anna Kasparian's a fucking nagging, whiny bitch is just because she doesn't have a man to put her in line, so I'd go with that. Thanks for the donation, Kid Boo.
Yes.
Adam Mogila.
He literally didn't make a point. Literally said nothing that entire show. Didn't contribute at all to the fucking discussion. And then Destiny says Adam Mogler. How? Why? Like, Destiny's a fucking retard. Dodo Donate Tellers, any good new Ryan Macbeth video? Yeah, I think he has a new one. We'll watch that later. Thanks for the donation, dude. Yeah, I know Anna Kasparian's married, dude. She's married to a fucking beta male, retarded, whipped simp. Like, just look at this guy. Faggot. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Actually, she's married.
Yeah, I know.
Working in a...
No matter where you're watching the Sean Ryan show from.
Here we go.
Amazingly complicated anyway, and because there's so many different people lying about every different aspect of every kind of form. RyanMacBethSubstack.com. Aside all the propaganda, how are things going? How much longer is this going to go on? Just the show is yours. What's happening?
Well, that's a tough one. You know, if I had a crystal ball, I would be on a boat making P. Diddy look like he was Amish, right? So I can't really give you a timeline of how long this can go on, but I can tell you this. With the blockade, what you're seeing is Iran losing between $450 to $500 million a day. And that would be tough for any country to absorb. So you may have a system where people aren't getting paid. The IRGC might not be getting paid on time. You could have people printing money, trying to put them in armored cars, sending out cash because their banking system was disrupted by coalition attacks. So the biggest issue facing Iran is they're going to run out of places to put oil. And that's a really big deal because when you stop drilling for oil, when you shut down a well, apparently that oil sinks back down to the well. It makes it a lot harder to open. You have to use special chemicals and so on to get that well back open. So Iran is running out of choices. So they could theoretically burn that oil, but there's about 10 barrels of water in 1 barrel of oil. So you got to get the water out before you can even burn the oil. Or maybe somehow build a large clay reservoir where they can keep that oil out in the open. I mean, none of these options are good. But probably in the next 2-3 weeks, Iran is going to physically run out of oil storage space, and then it has to choose. Do we make some sort of concessions to the United States to let our tankers back out into the Gulf? Or do we just shut down these wells and possibly have a much harder time reopening them when this conflict is finished? So I've often said in the military, you want to give your adversary problem or dilemmas, not problems. A problem has a solution, one or more solutions. A dilemma has 2 or more solutions, all of which are equally bad. So if Iran comes to the peace table and comes to some sort of agreement, they would almost certainly lose their nuclear ambitions. But if they don't have an economy in which they can build their nuclear arsenal. So there's 2 bad choices that Iran is facing right now.
All right, I have a laundry list of questions I want to ask you now from that little.
If only this guy could have been on fucking Piers Morgan. Like, my God. But instead we get Adam Mockler. The Jews made Trump do it, and Trump didn't get the Iran's people to agree to things. Like,
A little bit there. Now, first of all, obviously, when you mentioned the financial losses, that's staggering. I realize it's not a tiny country, but they're not the United States of America. That these are unbelievable and, as you mentioned, unsustainable losses. However, that's a logical way of looking at it. What do we do if they just don't submit? Because people have run into this before. Militarily, a country just doesn't say,
well, they can be broke.
I give up. What do we do from there? Or what happens to them from there? Do we sit back? Is there a revolution? What happens from there?
Well, ideally, there should be some sort of revolution. We haven't really touched the Artesh, which is, for lack of a better term, the civilian army of Iran. And I think the hope always was that the Iranian people would rise up and defeat the regime, and the Artesh might be a part of that, since a lot of young men are drafted into the Artesh And the Artesh isn't particularly religious. Most Iranians are Muslim the same way most Christians are Christmas and Easter Christians. The IRGC, they are the true believers. They are the ones who are trying to fulfill the coming of the Mahdi, which is this prophet-like figure that will join with Jesus at the end of the world and go and defeat the Antichrist and then have peace on earth for, I believe, either 9 or 19 years before the final judgment. And the IRG.
What's with all this Jewish hatred, VG?
Just gay fucktards. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
You see people, they kind of want to move this thing along. Now, when it comes to what we can do, we can...
No, gas prices affect me. It's about $40 to fill my V-Strom to a full tank. Which is just fucking insane. Oh. Used to be about $20 for fill up. Now it's almost 40. It's just fucking crazy. Oh my god, that is so much money.
Maintain a blockade against Iran theoretically indefinitely. We'll have to swap out ships as they go back to port for refit and having crew rotation. But we can keep this up far longer than Iran can hold out. So the ideal situation is that Iran has some sort of revolution where the people just can't stand this anymore. The less ideal solution is a peace treaty where Iran comes to the table, they say, you know what, we will give up our nuclear weapons, we're going to stop being jerks around the Sea of Hormuz, we're going to stop building long-range missiles, and from that, then we have inspectors and so on to make sure they're fulfilling their end of the bargain, and sanctions that snap back into place if they decide they don't want to play ball.
All right, now let's shift to something else. You mentioned these oil wells. It's not a light switch where you can just flip it on and off. If they stop pumping, there are consequences there where you're not going to get it going again, or it's going to take you a while. That brings me to the oil flow of the entire planet. What are the consequences, economic consequences, to all of planet Earth if Iranian oil gets taken off the market? Are they significant? Is it nothing? What is it?
Well, I believe 90% of Iran's oil went to China. The big issue right now is that there are a lot of tankers that are in Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and they are afraid to transit the Strait of Hormuz, not because it's mined. I actually don't believe the strait is mined, but you don't need a mine to make a minefield. You just have to make people scared that their ship could run into a mine. And one of the things I've often said is if I offered you a 95% chance at winning $1 million, but a 5% chance that you owe me $10,000, you'd probably take that bet, right? But a tanker owner never would. And the reason is actually very simple. I've likened this to Uber drivers. If you are an Uber driver and you get into a car accident, yeah, your insurance company will pay to replace your car. But you lose out on all the revenue that you could have earned had you been driving for Uber in that time it takes the insurance company to replace your car. If you are the owner of a container ship or an oil tanker, you want a 0% chance of being hit by a missile or a drone or a mine, because then if your ship sinks, you will lose out on all the revenue that you would have gained had that ship still been afloat and making deliveries. So to a lot of people who own tankers, it's just cheaper to keep those tankers in the Gulf waiting for any kind of opportunity for Hormuz to reopen to general traffic. Now, I can tell you this, when it comes to the world, we're really thinking about China, because 90% of Iran's oil went directly to China. So we're talking Chinese gas prices are at $4.16 a gallon. Pretty expensive. It's down a little bit from last month, but up significantly from what it was back in February. Now, the rest of the world is suffering from a lack of oil coming from the Persian Gulf. That is an issue. I believe in Europe it's up to $7.88 a gallon. Now, yes, In Europe and in China, they price it per liter, but I altered this for an American audience. And we understand per gallon. I believe in the Netherlands, it's something like $11 a gallon. It's extremely expensive there. But here's the deal here. If we can successfully patrol and use maritime surveillance aircraft and ships to successfully move vehicles or move ships through the Strait of Hormuz, and we still keep the blockade of Iran on, then we have people transiting the strait. The rest of the world economy is fine, and Iran gets to suffer. So that is not something that is of little consequence to Iran. Iran watches their neighbors continue to get rich, and meanwhile, they can't pay their bills. So that is certainly something that we can do. It just takes time to put all the pieces into place. The United States has a lack of escort ships. This has been a big problem since 2006 when we eliminated the
WTF is gas is $11/gallon in the Netherlands. I understand why Europeans are so against this war then.
Yeah, but Europe's gay, so they deserve it. Thanks for the donation, N-word.
Hazard Perry class frigate from our naval arsenal, and we replaced it with the LCS, the Littoral Combat Ship, which didn't quite work the way we expected it to work. And of course, our new Constellation class frigates, those were held up in manufacturing and eventually canceled. And now we're creating a new frigate that's based off of the Legend class Coast Guard cutter, but that's going to take a couple of years. So we do have a lack of ships that can escort, which is one of the reasons it's so important that Europe gets involved in these missions. We can scrape together enough assets, but it's going to take some time to get that done, and it's going to take a lot of coordination between ships, between maritime patrol aircraft, between helicopters that we're using, like the Apaches that destroyed 6 or 7 Iranian speedboats the other day. And also, we have to worry about unmanned surface vehicles, which are essentially drone boats. So those are really hard to spot, so we need to come up with countermeasures against them.
Brian, I could have you on for another 10 minutes, but I'm out of time. That was wonderful.
Oh, well, what do you know? Iran's not going to be a forever war and America's winning. What a fucking surprise. I don't know why you'd listen to a fucking twink bitch Adam Mockler. Fucking cunt. Holy shit. I'm like burning up. Oh. I don't know if I can keep going. Oh my god. Dude. Jeez. think I'm gonna end the stream now. Too fucking hot. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. We'll do some leg training tomorrow. The normal React stuff later. So we'll do that tomorrow. And that'll be it for tonight, I think. But big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs. Really appreciate it. I'll be on tomorrow, so see you then, and sweet dreams.